We are live. I was ready for it.
As if he's not updated.
No,
I
was watching it last week, yeah, and like it was almost as if I was like sitting there. Did that work? Did that work? Did that work? So now, for the rest of the time, when it happens, I'm just going to be cool with it. All right, you won't hear all this. We're developing. We're developing as one. Yeah, and you're seeing the development as you follow. Thank you very much for joining this week. We've got a star-studded cast today. Pardon you guys up. We've got Simon Powell next to me. Lucky boy, how you doing, Si? Yes, that's better than what I was expecting. On the far right, we've got Jerome Marks. How you doing, Jerome?
Evening, yeah, good. All good, thanks.
On the bottom right, we've got our chief scout, Steve Powell. Steve Powell? That's like a hybrid of Simon. Steve's going to lose it. Steve's going to send me a message afterwards. Right, I'm done. It's Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, I'm good, Kieran. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
And we've got our star striker. It's the Duke. It's Nathan Ellington. How you doing, Nathan?
I'm doing great.
All right,
it wouldn't be a bad five-a-side team, this, would it?
Wouldn't be
you'll
bad.
be a goal. Nathan's up front. I'll be on the wing.
Jerome, what position do you play? That's a worry. No. I'm sorry. When I asked you a question of what position you play, if you take a breath and the next thing that comes out your mouth isn't the position, you are on the bench.
For what sport?
No. You can't pause. You have to just say, I'm a winger. Say it with your chest, mate. No second guessing yourself. I'll play anywhere. Don't sing well with me.
I'll go in net. I ain't got nothing to do because there's only 5 of us. If there were 10 of us on there, then I won't be at net.
That worries me, Si, because it would be a five-a-side team, obviously, is what Steve was getting at. But obviously, well, yeah, we'd have to find a couple of more players.
We're dropping like flies.
I know. But we've got exclusive this week. We're going to be chatting about the Arsenal versus Tottenham game, how well that went for Tottenham, how it didn't go for Arsenal. Obviously going to have a little catch up with Nathan about Manchester United. So here we are. Let me just say hello to the comment section first. Early doors. It's Arsenal. Peter G, how you doing, Peter? Akbar, thank you very much for joining us. And Lyric, I see you all the time. Thank you very much for joining us again. All right. First of all. It's been a bit of a mixed bag this week, Nathan. Yeah. All right. Let's start off with the European game. I mean, Man United would look like they were doing well. They looked like they got themselves back into the game, and then a sending off, which kind of flipped things over. Give us a little rundown of the game against PSG, Nathan, and what your thoughts were on the game.
I think PSG started slightly better. Obviously, they were ahead, and then what happened? We started coming into the game a lot more, and then Fred started messing around. So Fred, I'm looking at it going, oh my gosh, he's definitely gone. Definitely, there's no chance he's staying on the field. And then, you're just waiting for the referee to go and go, there you go, lad. And he comes out with a yellow. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. So that went on. And then he gets another challenge where he probably should have gotten a yellow then and got sent off. And I was like, you know what? Get this guy off. Today he's just going to get sent off. No doubt about it. We need to get him off. And then you see him come out second half. Everyone and his dog knew that you should have took him off. Everyone. He decides to keep him on. And it's just another reason for the referee to go, you know what? I probably made a mistake there. I'm going to do him next time. And then he tackles the ball and he gives him a yellow card. So,
that's the craziest thing. It weren't even a foul, the thing that got him sent off in the end. But as a lot of the commentators alluded to, the referee's probably looked at that previously and thought to himself, I've made a mistake and it's time to sort of make up for it.
Yeah. So then what happened from then, We was actually playing better football at that point. We were getting chances. We should have scored with Cavani hitting the bar. I think Rashford obviously got his goal, and then we had another chance which we should have scored. So I was thinking, wow, we're on it. You know, we're even against these boys who I don't really rate too highly defensively, but obviously they got one of the most potent attacks out there in the world. But so I was thinking, okay, great. But the minute we went down, we still went at it. That was what I loved about it as well. We still was going at them. And I just knew that obviously we're going to get another goal and win the game in the end anyway. So I was resigning to losing it anyway at the time when we got Fred sent off. And then obviously the game got ended and we lost. And now we have to fight next week to go and make something of this game in Leipzig.
Yeah, you've made the job a lot harder for yourself, and considering you only needed the point. But that's the crazy thing.
Yeah, but you do know that we are playing two big teams there. So although we did win the first two, were we really expected to win the second and Leipzig again? So do the double over both of them?
Yeah.
Obviously, on PSG's day, they're gonna get the rub of the grass, and obviously Mbappe's gonna get something going, and Neymar's gonna get something going, and they did. So it's no disgrace to lose to them, but again, that's the way it is.
And yesterday, you probably thought that it was Groundhog Day again with the early lead from West Ham, but then later on in the second half, you kind of pulled it back.
Well, I was looking forward to the game. Looked at the starting lineup, and I actually thought the team that he was picking had it was going to be McTominay and Van der Beek, and then Pogba was going to be the one ahead. But then, obviously, it showed that it was the other way around. And obviously we were playing and it just didn't look right. We didn't have anyone running in behind. And I even wrote on Twitter, it looks like everyone went out last night and just come and play today. Like everyone was just not on it at all. And I was like, we're going to get whooped here. Like, they're on it. And then they scored. Then they should have scored again. Then they had chances after chance. And I was like, man, we need to change this. And at the time, I actually thought Pogba's not really doing a lot in midfield, and Greenwood on the right wasn't doing much. I was like, look, we need Rashford and we need Bruno on this pitch now. And if I was looking at it for the positions they were in, I would have taken Pogba and Greenwood off. I said, take Pogba, Greenwood off, put them on, and they go and score. But the thing is, they get put in a different position. And then I realized that Pogba wasn't actually doing much because there was nothing in front of him. He has the ball at his feet. He's got to see runners. There's runners, he puts it in. So he's as good as his teammates are going to make him. And that's why he obviously did really well. Bruno came on, everything became fluid. Rashford started running at people again, but really, really really aggressive. Loved it. Everything was amazing. And then that amazing touch from Greenwood. Touch, bang. I was like, wow. Pogba outside the box, kills it. We start dominating the game second half. It was a total contrast of halves. First half, totally rubbish. Second half, totally good. And then we find ourselves up at the top in the table, fourth now in the table. So 2 points off top or whatever it is now. Now it's obviously maybe 5 points. It's looking good with the game in hand. So this is a team that's lacking structure as well. So you've got something to build on. There's still something to come. Well, that's the reason why we had that first half. It's because he doesn't. There's a combination of players that you can play that will allow the team to play without a structure. But once you change that, obviously with other managers that have a structure, you can change whichever players, interchange any of them, and they'll still do the same job because they all know their jobs. With a Man United, you put a different team in, they don't know their jobs, and they don't know how to work together as well. And that's why you get games like that. So we have to have the right, he's working on getting the right players in the right places, and then being able to interchange them to still play effective football. And he's doing a really good job at it. So like I said, there's another way to skin a cat, and that's what Ole's doing right now. Even though we don't have structure, he's doing a job. Simple as that. And you're getting the results, which is the important thing. All right, now it's time for the stopwatch to come out. We've got a question each this week. Right, what you got? What you guys? Oh, mate, you've done well so far, so I've got high hopes. All right, Steve, you're first, all right?
Yeah, I'm going back to the PSG game, Nathan. When that team come up, first thing I thought of was I like this. I like this team. I like the way it looks like it's going to, play the game. But it obviously went totally the other way. Are Manchester United looking in the wrong areas in the summer? They seem to be looking at wingers. There's players like McTominay who's not experienced enough. Matic who hasn't even got the legs. Fred who just hasn't. His discipline seems to be a bit bad. Where Man United are looking for the wingers, I mean, should they be looking in that area like a Kante type of player? And would that cause it? Would that make their challenge?
Yeah, well, to be honest, with United, we need a central defensive midfielder definitely to come in, and we need a centre back to come in, and we need a winger. So that's the three positions I think we need. Reason why we need a centre back is because two players that we've got, they're too similar. None of them complements the other. They're both pretty good at what they do, and they both have attributes which are one better than the other. But then there's certain things that make the other one better than the other.
Guess I'll have to stop the clock on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Just carrying on for what Nathan was saying. I'll just carry on with what I thought. It just looks like Man United keep going for the wingers, the Sanchos. I mean, they've been linked with someone else. Today that, and it seems to me that we talk about the structure of Man United, and the structure that the middle of the park we all know is the most important part of the field. And it seems that Matic and McTominay are always the ones that are getting singled out, and Fred are getting singled out. So I was putting to Nathan into the, is that the area they should be looking at? They looking in the wrong areas.
Well, in the summer, one of the things we did say that it was a bit crazy about United was why they keep going for central midfielders. But obviously, there's got to be reason. An alternative to maybe Pogba or Fernandes is probably what they were looking at with Donny van de Beek. Also, that he could drop into the deeper position as well. But that DM position, Fred seems to have actually looked like he was sort of taking it with both hands at one point. I can't really say that red card is him done with. But they probably do need another option. They probably are. That's probably what they're looking for. Another option.
Yeah. They're very inexperienced. Here he comes.
Nathan, you've got 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done.
We need them players.
You're done.
Stoppage time. There's stoppage time to be added.
Oh my gosh! Can I have 10 seconds, please? So just to finish up on that, Fred, Matic, and McTominay, they all have parts of their game which nobody likes, and then they have parts of the games which, if you could mix them all into one, we'd have a good central defense midfielder, and that's, to be honest. So you're right about that. And then we do need an out-and-out winger who actually is their primary position. So hopefully, it makes sense. So. They also do need the other two positions as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice one, Nathan. Yeah.
All right, Jerome, you're next. What you got?
So during when it was the summer transfer window, we had a little look at Alex Telles, who was linked with a few different teams around Europe, and obviously ended up going to United. He's played the last few games now. What are your sort of first impressions of him, would you say?
I really like him, to be fair. That's the kind of left back I want to see playing because he gets forward all the time, always looking to put a ball in the box with quality. And I know if he ball falls to him outside the box, he's got a ping of a left foot as well. We've not seen it yet, but I do know he's obviously good at that. He's got a lot of pace, so he can get back and get forward. He just looks very comfortable being able to do everything you want a left back to do. So obviously you can get beat sometimes. He got beat yesterday, but you know what? That West Ham winger is very, very good. Can't remember his name now. His name just lost me. What's the winger's name who was killing us? Bowen. Yeah. So he was absolutely tearing. But he can probably tear anyone. Someone's going to get the better of you sometimes. So But I think he's been sound at left back defensively as well. So I'm really, really happy with him. And obviously we'll see when Shaw comes back whether he can actually get back in the team, because that's going to be it takes some doing. Although defensively you probably look at Shaw, but attacking wise, again you've got attacking and defense with TTES. So it gives us a new dimension, because we need balls coming in the box, especially if we've got Cavani up front.
Other choice, who would you rather have at their fittest, if they're at their peak? TTES or Shaw?
TTES all day. TTES all day.
Yeah.
TTES has got the forward side. You need someone overlapping on the left and putting balls in. You can't have a Wan-Bissaka on one side who get better, but you can't have a fluid fullback. Like, none of them are fluid, are they? Wan-Bissaka and Shaw. The TTES, he'll get there straight away and put a ball in first time. Guys can put a ball in first time with quality. Shaw or Wan-Bissaka. They get hold of it. They do a little jink and then they cross a ball. But sometimes what you want is up, back, put him in. He's running onto it, puts it straight in with perfection. And that's what I see all the time.
Yeah. I see what you mean there. All right, Simon, you are next.
Where do you think this United team would finish this season with a proper manager?
Well, to be fair, Ole Solskjaer's looking like a proper manager right now. The way things are going. But you know what? Like, to be fair, he's done a lot. I can't knock him for what he's done with his team. We're playing attacking football. We're scoring goals and goals and goals. From when COVID, the first time we had the lockdown and we came back, we've had the most points in the league since then. We've had the most away wins. We've had so many things that he's done well. So I can't knock him for everything. He's done well from where we've come from to where we are. So that's that side of it. Obviously, we can get that extra step further. And if we had some structure in there, as you say. So if we had a good manager, and obviously, we could win the league this year. And even now, I'm not saying Ole's not a good manager. I'm saying he does it a different way. And he's getting the results. And he's also it's like a mixed bag. But at the same time, when you look at it, who else is really doing that good this year? Tottenham, the only team that's looking pretty consistent. Chelsea have now started getting more consistent. And it's United. City are not looking amazing. Liverpool not looking amazing. They got injuries. Arsenal are on the floor at the moment. Obviously, need to get Ozil back in the squad. I don't know why they're not going to put him in for the sake of whatever's going on. But, you've got problems. A lot of other teams have got problems. So have we. But do we have more problems than the other teams? The only team I can see, like I said, looking really strong is Tottenham this year, that really look like they can go on and do stuff while everyone's getting injuries and dropping, and having a change of, kind of like mixed performances. Mm-hmm. I think Tottenham are looking more equipped at the moment. And with the bench that they have, I think United and Tottenham look closest to being able to do something this year, if we can ever do anything right now, while everyone's in transition and injuries. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well answered. Last one. All right. There's been quite a few reports of Jesse Lingard potentially leaving Man United. Is there still a future there at United? And if so, what could he actually bring to Man United with his current squad?
To be fair, with Lingard, when he first came on the scene, he was a good player to come on and be like a player who comes on off the bench and links with the other players who are obviously doing the jobs. So that was pretty good, and he had some good performances. But then when he became like the first choice, that's when the problems arose, because he can't do it himself. He's just he's the link type of man, and that's why I remember Rio saying he could play with our other team. It depends who you're playing with, and he is not a player who you can just depend on to make something happen. He just has to be that little cog in the bigger scheme of things. And that's why I think now it'd probably be okay if he was to come off the bench every now and again. But there ain't no spaces for him now anyway, because he's down the pecking order at the moment. And then obviously we got a few more players that have come in and are obviously more effective at the minute. But I really liked his one-touch play and his movement. That's what I remember him for. And that's what he's really good at. And but it's unfortunate he was around at the time when the transition happened, and we had so many inexperienced players playing at the same time. everyone started looking to Lingard to be a main man, and he's not a main man. And I feel sorry for him because he did well, and you've got them kind of players who have done well in the past at United's teams, where they're not exactly world beaters themselves, but they do well within the system, and that's what he was, and that's what he obviously was doing. And then obviously he's now also got the kind of the drop in form and a drop in confidence, which has now meant even when he does play recently, he needs a run of games to play with the first team to then get back to anywhere near how he was. So it's going to be very, very difficult for him to get back in and then get that confidence as well, to then for everyone to have confidence in him again to be playing.
All right, very well answered. Very well answered. All right, thank you very much, Nathan. That is Nathan's rundown today. I think we've got 2 games in. Everyone got a question in. Answered him well. We had technical difficulties. He went away, came back. Unreal. Forget a rainy night in Stoke, mate. How about a Sunday evening on KS1 TV? Can handle it. All right. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty of why everyone's here. It's the Arsenal and Tottenham reaction. All right? All right. That looks like a bottle of wine. I feel I was going to say. You won.
I don't drink.
I mean, neither, mate.
But yeah, Arsenal lost the game 2-0 today. Some predicted that would be the case before the game. Some had hopes of trying to scrape something out of it. 69% possession didn't count for anything in the end for a Tottenham team who played that way that they wanted to. They played exactly to the strengths, to the weaknesses of Arsenal, give them possession and hit them on the break. So, yeah. All right. Steve, we'll start with you.
Oh, God. What are you to start with me for, man?
Chiefs Gatman.
I can listen out with me if you want.
No. We'll leave you till second last.
I predicted it all.
All right, Mystic Meg, sit down.
No, I did. I could prove it. Go on my Twitter. Go on the video. There's like 30 seconds long.
Steve first. Don't worry, Simon. Steve first. Steve.
Right.
What's your feelings on the game?
No shock. Expected it before we started. Tottenham are flying. I watch them every week. Like Nathan was just saying, don't think they've ever had a team like this that could possibly win the title. And now I'm going to say it now. And they could possibly win the title with the side. Mourinho's got his mojo back. He's shown that over the last, 9-10 games. He's brought in the right players and they're all fitting in. As far as the game goes, it's just, from Arsenal's point of view, it's Arsenal are nothing unusual at the moment. It's just a mishmash of everything thrown onto a football pitch and saying, go out there and play, because we literally just haven't got the players and nobody's able to do their job to the full extent because of this. You've got young players coming in that are 22-year-olds. You've got Saka who's playing who shouldn't even be playing. You've got other players that should be learning the game, and it's just too expected. And it's not been the shocks for me. The first half, the first half was like a mishmash of everything. I don't know what was going on that first half. I normally sort of pride myself, and when I'm looking at a game, can see what's going on. I could not have a clue what was going on that football pitch. A lot of people are having a go at Thomas Partey today. I'm not going to have a go at Thomas Partey today because he's in a side where, just like Aubameyang is, and just where a few other players is, that they ain't going to get going for the next 2 or 3 years unless some money's put into the club. It's the second half was a load much better. Bringing on Ceballos, and literally playing the way that we're used to Arsenal playing, and not sort of sitting back and attacking them like what Arsenal have done, like we've always known, like I've always known since I was 5 years old, and watching them attack, and that's what we did in the second half, and we did that, and we played well. We was the better side, but it was too late by then. I let the other boys go on. I could go on. There's loads of other things, bits and pieces. But I can't really have a go at any of the players today. I thought the second half, I thought they performed well. I thought they performed very well in the second half. And the reason why I can't blame the players, because I don't think it's their fault that they're playing in a side that's literally like a mishmash, have been told to go onto a foot. And I don't think it's Arteta's fault either. It's just that we're not allowed to buy the players who can gel into that tie, and to use Nathan's word, get that structure together for the side.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Jerome, disheartened, expected it, not surprised. What was your feeling after the game?
Yeah, all three of those. I think that there's a saying like you can't bet on football, but with Arsenal at the moment, it's just, you can bet on Arsenal because
They conceded.
you can see exactly what's going to happen. If you were gonna, we've seen this before this game. It happens all the time. I don't think I feel sorry for Arteta because he can only pick the players that he's got at his disposal, but there's just zero penetration with this team. Normally, when a team has, say, whether it was 69 or 65, 69% possession, normally that means that the defenders of the opposition team have had a hard time. This was probably the easiest game the Spurs centre-backs have had all season. All they had to do was head and kick balls away all game from the 40-odd crosses that Arsenal put in. But apart from that, going forward, it's one of those, that expression, they wouldn't have scored in a month of Sundays. Honestly, they could be playing up until this time next week. Arsenal did not obviously, I'm watching it from an Arsenal's point of view. I don't know if Nathan watched the game, but he just didn't look like they were going to score. They could have tried anything. They could have bought in any of the substitutes. They could have put 5 up front. They just did not look like scoring. And that is I think I've said it before, that is a big concern. If you're not scoring goals, and you're conceding. I think Spurs might have had 2 or 3 chances all game.
Yeah.
I think the first one was definitely obviously a counter attack, and the second one as well. Both counter attacking goals. I mean, the second one was an absolute joke, to be honest, from a coach's point of view, I suppose. Just before half time, I know you want to score, but don't. There was only the 2 centre backs and Partey back. Partey obviously walks off the pitch. The whole thing's just a shambles. And I said this on an episode a few weeks ago. Arsenal will definitely finish this season lower than they finished last season. Yeah. There's no hope. There's no positive hope or signs at the moment. It's just looking terrible. But on the flip side, some people, you could argue this is the best thing to happen to Arsenal because there's no cracks that are being papered over at the moment. All the cracks are being laid out for everyone to see. It's just obvious that the players are not good enough. You can win an FA Cup. A poor team can win a cup because you need to be good over a certain amount of games. You can have a bit of luck, but over a long league season, sorry to use another expression, but the table doesn't lie, does it? And at the end of the season, it's a true reflection of how good or bad that team are. And if you said to me now we'll finish 13th, I'll take that. Because to be honest, there's no if Arsenal finish 14th, 15th, or 8th or 9th, what's the difference really? There's no difference. So yeah, I just want everyone to see how bad these players are, because if that's the case, there's more chance of them being changed rather than if they go on a good run and players like Xhaka get another chance. So yeah. That's my mini. I don't
think there's really much choice in the summer. think it's
Well,
like
hopefully.
four or five are actually leaving because their contracts run out. And yeah, you predicted that Arsenal were going to lose before the game. It's no surprise to you. How are you feeling after the game?
Not that bothered, to be honest. Yeah, it pisses me off we've lost, but I predicted it. I said in my video before the game even kicked off, we're going to dominate possession. We're going to have chances, and then what's going to happen is we're going to have a chance that comes by a cross. Probably Tini will put it in. It's going to get cleared. Harry Kane's going to get it. Bellerin's going to lose his man because he's not going to follow his man. He's going to follow the ball. Harry Kane's going to pass to Son, 1-0. Next goal that comes in, it'll be straight after Son. I got this one wrong, but I'll explain. Next ball that comes in, next one, it's going to be Harry Kane that scores, and it's going to be another mistake from Bellerin because he's a brain-dead footballer and he's pathetic and he's useless, and he follows the ball rather than following his man. He today was absolutely pathetic. The one thing that's really peed me off about the game, and it's not the result, it's not the performance, it's Thomas Partey going off injured. And Arteta's team is pushing Partey back on when Harry Kane is going to make it 2-0. Thomas Partey then runs to try and see if he can do something, pulls up again, turns around to the bench, and as the camera pans away, you can see Arteta and his technical staff doing this. Sorry, you're trying to tell an injured player to get back on the pitch and help out. You're a disgrace, in my opinion. And if Arteta did authorise that, it can go tonight. Because I'm not Arteta in, I'm not Arteta out. I couldn't care. I didn't want him in the first place. I did a video that 50k, you all seen it. But if he advised
I've not seen it.
to push Partey back on when he's injured, not having that.
But
second half, I won't say we're any better. Second half, we played into Mourinho's hands. They've got the 2 goals. 44 crosses in that second half that came in. Somebody needs to tell Arteta that Olivier Giroud doesn't play here anymore. Because you've got Lacazette, Aubameyang and Willian, and even Saka trying their best to head a ball. Every single time. Xhaka, wasteful in the second half, pointless, shouldn't have been on the pitch. El Neni would have done a better job. Tini and Thomas Partey, our 2 best players. Liverpool have just gone 2 up. And then basically we're our 2 best players. Dani Ceballos came on and actually tried to pull some strings and try to make things happen, but pretty much is just Kylie Minogue spinning round. That's pretty much all he does. For me, it was shambles. Gabriel, I've got no issue with Gabriel. I thought he did all right. Holding, sorry, not good enough. There's too many of these players that were here under Arsene Wenger. And there's a lot of Arsenal fans now that are calling for the manager's head. Just remember, after we won the FA Cup, you were saying, my manager. Yeah? So if these results are happening, you wanted this. That's all I'm going to say. I haven't got a problem with the manager because I know he's got no midfield to work with. When Partey plays with Xhaka, Partey's on his own because Xhaka's doing nothing. Xhaka gave away a free kick. Xhaka gave a foul that should have been a yellow card. He gave away another foul in the second half that should have been another yellow and he should have been off. Is a liability, and I do not want to see that man in an Arsenal shirt again, but this is just my opinion.
The Partey was at fault for the 2 goals. It was his
Bellerin.
fault they scored.
Wait.
No, it wasn't. It was Partey's fault.
It was.
Twice.
100% Bellerin.
What?
Whoa. The
He left his man twice.
The first
Go
goal.
watch it again. Go watch it in the shows.
The first goal was a catalogue of silly little things, but ultimately that finish was world class.
Fantastic, unbelievable.
No one's saving that. No one's stopping that. I'm sorry, but no one's expecting that. Gary Neville talking about them defenders dropping off. Son had like a few seconds on that ball, opened up, whipped it top corner. All right?
Yeah, but it wouldn't have got that close if Bellerin was there.
Wait. The second one. As a footballer,
you don't walk off the pitch. Sorry,
I've got this. As a footballer, yeah, you don't walk off the pitch. Yeah, if you're injured, you don't walk off the pitch from the middle of the pitch
What
and
was
walk
the injury?
off the pitch. Huh?
What was his injury?
I think he had.
Muscular, wasn't it? I think.
He pulled up on his hamstring, and he was right near the line. And then as he's pulled up, the camera's panned away, and then he's literally hobbled, and then he's just gone over the line. He just went off the line. In my opinion, Partey did the right thing. He was injured. He went off the pitch, so the game could resume. If he'd laid down, there would have been all chaos and everything. So for me, he did the right thing.
What's the chaos? What's the chaos side?
Because if he's injured, he's right near the line. Why are you just going to get on the floor and lay down like that, waiting for the rest of the game? Because you're near the line. He's near the line, so he did the right thing.
On the pitch, so then the game can get stopped.
Thank you.
No?
Thank you. You've got to be smart. You've got to be smart. Yeah. If you're
Nathan, have you ever seen that when you've played, like a guy just walking to the touchline after, like, when he gets injured? Have you ever seen that?
No, you can't. You can't just leave the pitch. You got to go on the floor and be injured, and then they'll stop the game, and then he can come off as a sub.
Yeah.
And you can't get back on the pitch if you come off the pitch as well. I remember when you come off, if you go on without the ref saying, you get your card. So that's another thing as well.
Basically, he was close enough to the touchline for Arteta to say, "Go down." Like, if you're injured, go down. Arteta should have said that rather than
didn't. I don't know, but if you got a hamstring pull, you cannot move. Like, you see what happened to Delph. He pulled his hamstring. Yeah, he ran past a player and he pulled up straight away. He couldn't move. All of a sudden, he was like hobbling so long to go through to the tunnel. Took him probably 10 minutes. And he can't move onto the hammy. So I would have expected him to go down and at least stop the game. But if the game had already passed him, and obviously they're ready to go and score already, then I would have maybe understood that he's obviously never going to run back because he can't run. He probably can't even walk. So he should go down the floor anyway.
It wasn't the case. The game was in front. He's walked over to the side. He's obviously tried to get off. Then they're broke. Man, just like get back. As a footballer, you drop to the floor. Yeah. The chances are, hopefully, that a player kicks it off. Your team will be saying, "Injured player, kick it off." You see it all the time. If they don't, there's uproar. I literally just watched this morning. Yeah. Aston Villa. Hey, Steve, hold on. I literally just watched this morning. Yeah. Aston Villa versus Leeds. One of Aston Villa's players went down on a hamstring injury. It looked like Leeds were going to kick it off. They didn't. And then the ball got played on. And then Leeds scored a goal. And there was uproar. Because a player went down injured. No head injury, no nothing. So we can say that Thomas Partey tried to get off and manager tried to throw. He should have gone down. Should never leave the pitch. That's first and foremost. But that's not the whole game. There's instances in these games where you want to tell me that the strikers aren't getting chances. There's times in this game where the strikers aren't in the right positions. The strikers aren't making the right moves. They're not on form right now, and they're not confident. Lacazette looked sharp the other day, very, very sharp. He tried to drop down in the number 10 position today, but playing a number 10 position against Malmo and playing a number 10 position against Tottenham are two completely different things. You haven't got Toby Alderweireld on one and then Højbjerg in front of you on the other, sandwiching you. That ain't happening at Malmo. It's different levels. So I'll see how Lacazette today, does he have chances? Yes. Does the ball get into the box? Yes. Does he pull off in the right way as a normal striker would, where he pulls off and waits for the ball? No, he doesn't. Does he hesitate when the ball goes to the box and he could have got a chance to score? Yes, he does. These are strikers that are not on form. When you need chances, when you get chances, against top teams, you're only going to get a few. You're only going to get a few, and you need to take them. For years, we saw people talk about Andy Cole take 3 chances to score a goal. He ain't world class. He ain't this. He ain't that. Well, Lacazette or Aubameyang are like they're getting one. They're not taking it. Aubameyang today, header. Should he be getting? Should he be doing better? Yes, he should have been doing better. We got to stop letting these. We can talk about Xhaka, we can talk about Bellerin, but why are we letting our better players get away with these things? Why are we not pulling them up? Oh, because they do it 30 times a year. I don't care. You're paid to do it 30 times a year. You're a world-class striker. Get your head in gear. You and Lacazette, both of you. That's what's winding me up as well as the Xhakas, as well as the Bellerins who can't take a throw. That's embarrassing.
Don't get me started with that. Jesus.
Bro. It's like, Gary Neville's trying to take the mick saying last time Arsenal froze in 1964. Well, no, Southampton taken the other week, but they don't do it 3 times in a row, do they?
5.
That's his 6th this season as well. That's his 6th foul throw this season.
There's so many things that are wrong today. There's so many things that are wrong at Arsenal, and it's worrying. It's worrying because I don't see. God.
No, somebody shoot.
For you guys, because to be honest, like earlier on in the beginning of the season when you lot beat was it Man City? You lot were playing some football, and you lot had the manager he's making them play some good stuff. So what's that changed apart from you adding Partey to your team and Gabriel, who are 2 additions to improve your team? Teams so far away from what they should be now. What's going on?
For me, it's like a spring clean. When you spring clean, it gets messy before it gets clean again. And right now, it's a mess because there's no balance in the midfield. For some reason, the confidence has gone from the strikers. It's just when we haven't got our like ultimate first 11 on the pitch, it just seems to completely break down.
Yeah.
I'll tell Nathan. I'll tell you, Nathan. Arsenal haven't played well for about 2 years. The end of last season, when we won the FA Cup, when we beat Man City and Chelsea, we played with 3 at the back, and we were just soaking up pressure. We weren't playing well. We weren't being positive. We hit them on the counter attack, and we won a couple of games. But in terms of the actual performances, I think they've been shocking for about 2 years now. If you ask an Arsenal fan, name the amount of games that they've put in a good shift, they've played well, they'll struggle to name 4 or 5 games. And I think that FA Cup win, as good as it was to win a cup, it's blinded a lot of people and a lot of fans.
Yeah.
It's gassed people up too much.
It's like the signings as well, isn't it? It's the signings. When as soon as one side, let's just take this season for instance. You take Thomas Partey comes in. We're all great. Yeah, fantastic. Thomas Partey's in. Right? That's not going to do nothing. Thomas Partey ain't going to get us to the Champions League. Thomas Partey's not going to, there's so much more wrong. I've never known a club. I was having a chat with my dad the other day, and he made a fantastic point. And he said to me, Arsenal in transition, but he said, I've never known a club in transition to go backwards. and I had a thought about that. And he said to me, no matter how long it takes, whether it takes 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, there's always that extra bit of improvement as time goes on. Arsenal have gone backwards. How does that work? How do you go backwards?
Yeah, it's like...
sorry. You've gone backwards, you think now?
I think so. With players like, when we had like Chamberlain, Walcott, Ramsey, Giroud, they'd walk in our team there. Monreal, Koscielny, Mertesacker. I'd put them right in. I'd start them now. If they was about now, I'd start them. You get someone that says, all right, mate, Ozil, I'd start them now. We've gone backwards. How do you go backwards? This team is not as good as that team. Normally you would think, right, Chamberlain, Walcott, all these players, right, they've all gone. We've got to improve on that. This is what we want to do. We want to improve on them players. So, right, off we go. But we haven't improved. We've got worse. How does that work?
Yeah,
the last time we played good, when it were against Man United and it were 2-0, obviously when Pepe and Socrates scored, that were an easy game though for us to play because they didn't have Bruno. I don't think Pogba was on the pitch either. They had Pereira and Lingard. I'm not being funny, those 2 guys are not going to cause us any issue whatsoever.
But even that game, Si, you'd say that game. When
I can't think of any. I honestly can't think of any.
When Jerome said, can you think of the last? I'm thinking like a absolute smashing. Blackburn 6-1. Like them. I'm not talking about Man United 2-0, pragmatic, done well, stood strong. Because we beat Man United recently and did that. Like that's not of interest to me because that's not Arsenal. Arsenal aren't pragmatic. Arsenal will score 5, concede 3. But we've got a great game and we love the way you play football.
I'll tell you how bad we got. And well, I say how bad. I don't mean it bad. You'll know what I mean when I say it. Our fans are getting like hyper and gassed over Jack Wilshere coming back. Now, come on.
Because they're desperate, Steve. Because there's no creative spark. Look, even when Danny Ceballos came on, look, we need a player like Jack Wilshere who will take the ball and run with it forward. Like, even when Ceballos come on, like, it was a ray of light because it was someone who was willing to move the ball forward. But even then, he's limited in doing that. I think he wants to play deeper. He wants to take the ball off the defenders, get it there, maybe look at... He's a pretty player. I like Danny Ceballos. He's an addition to the team, but he's not the guy. He'd be nice in the squad, but he's not the guy. I'm not digging at Danny Ceballos. I like what he does. He does very good work. But he's not that guy that takes the ball from midfield and gets it forward and scores goals from midfield. When was the last time we had a player that scored 3 or 4 goals from midfield? 1, 2 a season. Cazorla.
Ramsey, probably.
Ramsey. But even Steve Ramsey in his last season was injured most of the season. The season before that, he was injured a lot of the season. We're talking Santi Cazorla was a real goal scorer from midfield. Even Ramsey hadn't scored 10 in a season for 4 or 5 years. Yeah, that's what worries me. It's our strikers that scored and that's it. Where's the other goals coming from?
That's it. It's still a building. That's it. It's still a building process. He still hasn't got his midfielders.
Yeah, it's a building process, but like in that building process, you still need to be getting goals. You still need to be winning games. Like you
don't go backwards when you're building, do you?
It can't just be a transitional year. Right?
It's like in that second half, when we played in that second half, we could have played for 2 weeks and we would not have scored.
Yeah, it's Nathan.
Go on, Nathan.
Who would you say you need? Like, what players and what positions do you need to put in? Like, which players have you identified in your mind that you could put in and go, these players, if we added them to our team, like realistically, would make us a challenging team like next year? Is it loads of players? Is it 2 or 3? Which positions is it? What are you guys?
4.
Well, personally, right. The people know that I'm not a hater of Granit Xhaka like a lot of other people are, but if we can approve him in on your bank pile, you know, he's just the best of what we've got in the minute.
Yeah,
you know, and when people tell me we should be playing Wilshere or Elneny in front of him, that's when I think you lost your brain, mate. You know, you're gone. Off
He's
your
never
head.
had a football brain. He's never had one.
But you know what it is? It's like it says where we are when the argument now, is Willian and Jack are playing. We should be giving Reece Nelson and Joe Willock a chance. Like, we're Arsenal, man. We should be looking at people like Reece. And again, this is no slight on Reece Nelson, but Reece Nelson needs to be having a full season in the Premier League, ripped it up to be even gracing this Arsenal team. The same goes for Joe Willock. He needs to be ripping it up in another team for a season in the Premier League, and we go, we had to have Joe Willock back. Right now, Joe Willock and Reece Nelson are learning the game, and they can't be in our squad learning week in and week out. We're not a learning club. We're not Ajax. We're not PSV. We're Arsenal. I can't deal with this. And our mentality as a fans have dropped as well. Look, I could deal with some of the players we've got in our team, but I'm not having this discussion where you're talking about looking at youth team players and saying they should be in the team over these players because they need a chance. Against Tottenham, against City, against Liverpool, like, we're really going to give these kids a chance against them. Like, that's how desperate we are.
I'll tell you what, though, 4 players, if we signed in January, we'd piss top 4. And I can say this confident. Brighton, right back, Lamptey. A centre back from Leipzig, the French one, not Upamecano. Is it the other one?
Canate.
I know you're right,
Sobotskli for the 10 role, Hossim Aouar for the box-to-box.
Okay. He knows what he wants. Jerome, who are you having?
Who do you want?
Who are you having? How many do you think Arsenal need? Who are you having?
I don't know the individual players in terms of who to get, but the say we play 4-3-3, so the 3 midfielders and the 3 attacking players, the ones that Arsenal have got at the moment, if any of them played for other clubs and were on the transfer market, apart from maybe Partey, I wouldn't pick up any of them. I'd change. Before the season started, our whole midfield needed to be changed. Every single one of those players that plays for Arsenal that's a midfield player, none of them are good enough. So that's for starters. I think Bellerin's had his time at Arsenal. I think he needs to go. But they haven't got the players at the moment to replace him. So whenever an Arsenal team is put out, whenever I see a starting 11, I'll probably speak for all Arsenal fans. I'm never happy. Never. There's never a time
I wanted to cry today when I saw starting 11. I wanted to cry.
If you're looking like realistic, you know, and I'm talking realistically, a lot of them ain't going because they just don't want to go, and they're on decent contracts, and they're not going to leave Arsenal. So, like people like Bellerin, Lacazette, they're not leaving Arsenal. There's not even any point having a discussion about Lacazette and Bellerin. You might as well forget about them and talk about players around them. I mean, the only 2 players that you know that you wouldn't mind keeping are Partey and Gabriel. The rest you wouldn't care if they left. But that's in the land.
He owns a stake though, Bellerin, doesn't he, for his Green Rovers?
Yeah, that's in the land.
That's about your level. That's about your level.
That's in the land of fantasy football. I'm talking in the land of fantasy football manager, aren't I? You know, that's who
are you bringing in?
Who am I bringing in?
Yeah.
What?
No one's mentioned Aubameyang. You just mentioned Partey and Gabriel. That's it.
Fernandes. I'd have Van der Beek. I'd have Rashford.
I'm not trying to take up there.
Like Jerome said, the ones Saboskia, he's I'd like, but I don't know. I don't think he's going to come. I'd like him to. I'd as much as they think I'm Granit Xhaka's cheerleader, I still would like an improvement. So I would like a defensive sort of midfield player of some quality, but they're very few and far between. Kante seems to have won his way back into Chelsea now. I thought we might have had a chance with him. Up front, someone like Pastandaka, for instead of Lacazette, get him out. He's a possible gettable. You know, he's someone that you could get. Then I think we could prove.
Would you like to see up front for you guys, or what? Question for you. A lot of my friends are liking Calvert-Lewin a lot at the moment.
Yeah.
Would you like to see you guys?
Costs a lot of money.
Good shout.
He would be a good shout. Look, I think
that's my question now.
Yeah, I think a lot of our fans dismissed and gave no respect to the likes of Olivier Giroud when he left. And you've seen what he's done in the 3 years he's been at Chelsea. That he's still a player and would still have been an asset at our club. Maybe not as a starter, but an option.
A machine.
You've seen what the difference between his hold up play, his link up play to Alexander Lacazette's.
Yeah, right. Basically, yeah. Following on, Kieran, from that, Arsenal made a mistake because what they've done is they bought Lacazette before Aubameyang, and if they would have signed Aubameyang before Lacazette, having Aubameyang and Giroud as the 2 centre forwards, perfect, lovely. Yeah. They signed Lacazette, and Lacazette wasn't really an upgrade on Giroud.
It's not. Look. We've had this argument before.
We had this conversation the other day.
It's the name.
The French team.
It's the name.
Lacazette does not get in the France team. Giroud does, and it's that reason. And it's not anything against Lacazette, yeah, because I've watched him. But he's not the guy that Arsenal need. He's not. And then people will tell me all of a sudden Lacazette's a number 10. I saw the amount of people that were telling me, I don't know why everyone's surprised Lacazette doing so well the other day, because he's always done this. Apparently, Lacazette always does everything with Leon, yeah, when he does something with Arsenal every now and again. When I'm sick of it, I'm bored of it. Because if this was Olivier Giroud, it'd been this geezer's this geezer's that, yeah? Lacazette did score in 18 games last season at home, I think it was. Embarrassing. And then he managed to do it towards the end of the season. At that point, Arsenal tried to get rid of him, but couldn't. He dug his heels in and wanted to stay. And the same will probably happen again this season. As for players that I'd like to bring in, I like that Sabitzer from RB Leipzig.
Oh, yeah,
he's got energy. He scores goals. He's just a danger all the time. And I think we need another DM, like an actual DM, not a Thomas Partey, because he's got more to his game. You saw what Thomas Partey could do today when he was good. That's a half fit Thomas Partey. So I don't even want anyone digging him out. But it's like, at points, he's dropping his shoulder, he takes it past one, he bullies off the other one. That's what Thomas Partey can do. And if you drop him into defensive midfield, you're killing the player. So we need someone in there who just win the ball and be a bully, and not someone who's 2 foot tall. Look, I know
Wilfred Ndidi.
I know Torreira could do a job, but it's about presence. And I'm sorry, when I go onto the pitch, I'm in a tunnel and there's a 6'5" geezer, 14 stone, looking rich, yeah, or there's Torreira, and it's, again, I'm not digging out Torreira, but it's just not the same. It's not going to have the same impact on me. When the ball goes in the air, I'm thinking I've got this all day long. Elbow, see you later. Like these things, footballers have it in their head. They've already won the battle against him before he's even got it. Now he's behind. Now Kante's an exception. Like he's an exception, but Torreira ain't a Kante. He ain't a Kante. So we need another DM in there, and we need a new striker to sit up there.
Can I just ask?
I like Semedo from Wolves, even though he's getting ripped by Mane, but it's Mane. 4-0 up then.
Can I just ask Nathan quickly? He might be able to answer it better than anybody. We've got Martinelli, and we've got Balogun, who we're quite excited about. Coming through soon. We hope. You had like Rashford and Greenwood come through, sort of like similar type of players, similar area of the football pitch. When they come through, was you like, oh, what are they playing, or was you like playing?
With Rashford, I was like, look, because he came in, obviously he played in that game where everyone was injured, so he had to play, and he scored. So then he played in the next game and he scored. And then he scored 2 against Arsenal. Then he scored against Man City away. Then he scored away against Watford. He's just scoring every game. I was like, he's got to play every week. He's scoring. Yeah. If you're scoring goals, you play. Like, people. Yeah. If you're killing it for the first team, you're killing it. It doesn't matter how old you are. And that's really the way it was. Greenwood did the same. He came on. That was another thing. It was nice to see him get bled in. Like Greenwood, it was nice. He didn't play all the time. Even when we felt, he should get a game now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, you know what? No.
That's the thing.
And that's what you're saying about some of your players. You don't want them to start every week because it's not fair on them to expect like that level every single week. Like,
no.
Gonna happen.
Yeah, it's like Balogun on Thursday.
You're gonna
9 minutes. He got 9 minutes on Thursday. It's like, it's a pointless game. We've qualified. Why don't you just play him for the full game? Give him that experience. Reece Nelson's killing it in the Europa League.
Wait, no, because Lacazette ain't killing it. So Lacazette needs that confidence to kill it in that. And this is the problem, bro. This is what the problem. In those dead rubber games. No, bro. In these dead rubber games, this should be Lacazette. You sit on the sidelines. You look at Lacazette, head in his hands, like, boss, I need some game time. I need to score. And so he's desperate to score a goal, man. So it's like, all right, stick him in.
Yeah. But the thing is, he's got Balogun there, and he's got Martinelli looking over his shoulder. So either they'll sell him on, or one will be the centre forward, and the other one will be the backup. So I can't see him especially with the £180,000 a week wages, which is, killing us, isn't it? To go on and buy some more players, that's it's crippling us. That is.
Yeah, I think the problem. What Nathan was saying was it was
it's
nice
not money
to
and wages
see.
though.
It was nice to see Greenwood get bled in, whereas now Arsenal are like, why ain't Saka starting? Why ain't this happening? What Saka needs to be playing it week in, week out, and that's not. I've never known an Arsenal team where we've got a youngster and it's like he has to play week in, week out. We paid £10 million for Theo Walcott when he was the biggest young player in European football at one point, and he was getting bled in. When people were like, he needs to play. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was getting bled in. Oh, he needs to play. He's brilliant when he plays. He needs to play. You can't. You can't. Rashford has been out for injuries because stress fractures, things like that. People like Kieran Dyer, Michael Owen, all these players, young players that play from the age of 17, all throughout their career, they'll get to a certain stage, injuries happen. Because they've not been bled in, because they've been when their bodies are still growing, they're being played Premier League men's football week in, week out, 90 minutes, because they're depended on. And that's what's going to happen to Saka. Or Saka will get to his end of his contract, this contract, and go, do you know what? I'm better than this. I'll go to someone else. I'll go to somewhere where it's a project. I'll go Man City. That's the problem we're at now.
That was like Nebry, weren't it?
Harry Kewell as well.
Serge Nebry, weren't it? He did the same thing. He felt he could go somewhere else to sort of, learn his career. He didn't really want to play every game. He just went to another club because he felt that he could be more, they could bring him through. They could teach him better. And look at him now.
You must be kicking
if you want to, if you want to watch someone that's been blended into the squad and not just being chucked in straight away, gets a few odd appearances, and starts actually going through his career. Harry Kewell is the best person to watch. That guy's still playing football now in Australia at whatever age he is. And that's because he's had injuries, but Leeds United never constantly played him.
He's a manager older.
No.
He's about 45, isn't he?
I'm about to say, I think he's still playing.
He's manager older. He was Crawley's manager. It was Crawley's manager, like.
I had a chat with him a few older. Obviously, we wanted to bring a player down there on loan, so I was chatting to him about bringing him in. So I know definitely right now. So it might have been end of last season or something, because he did just come into management. So yeah.
Can I just ask before? I don't know if Dave was going. I hope not. But if he is, I'd just like, do you think Tottenham can win the league?
Tottenham?
Yeah.
Definitely. I think they can, because if you look to their bench, with their first team starting and you look to their bench, they've got similar players who can come on when players are tired and do the exact same thing of that counter-attack and make things happen when everyone's legs are knackered. That's what he was. Mourinho, he's a genius when it comes to this side of things, because when he's at Chelsea, when he's at Inter, when he's at Real Madrid, he always had a team. Whenever he was able to make a team where he's got blistering wingers and then bring blistering and get tired and bring on blistering wingers again, that's his game. And then become very compact at the back. That's what he's done. He's gone, you know what? I need a big, strong defensive midfielder. Let me go and get this boy, Højbjerg, in the midfield. Let me go put Dyer at the back now to make him, he's big and strong, but no one else played him at the back. But no, I'll play him. He's going to be a tank. I'm going to just nothing will get through him. Tighten everything up. And then now look, he's got Regular on left back, doing well. He's got the players he's got at disposal in attack. So many good attacking players now. They are well equipped now to go and make things happen. And Dembele's on fire now. Sissoko can play instead. You've got Højbjerg as well. You've got too many at your disposal. And when I always say in my head, have an understanding in my head, they're equipped. They are equipped to go and make something happen this year, especially when Van Dijk's injured, when Man City not looking as strong because they're getting older, or Aguero's not looking the same. Even though they got good other wingers, you need to have blistering pace on both sides. They're missing Sane. You can have Mahrez, you can have Fernand Torres, you can have the other Silva, But if you ain't got that extra pace, they can go to one side and shut off Sterling a bit than they used to. It means that they're not going to win as many games. Them games where they used to win every time, even when it was tight, they're not going to happen. And it looks like Tottenham are most equipped, and United are just behind them. I know Liverpool still can do the thing, but again, the defence, I see them losing the odd 2 or 3 now, just because you got out at the back. No, them 3 out at the back. Sorry. So I can't see anyone else. Chelsea, they're kind of looking all right. They're still not convinced me yet that can go on and destroy everyone. Tottenham look more dangerous, to be fair. So that's my.
I feel depressed now after that.
One thing I am seeing with Chelsea though is the mistakes they were making previously. They're not making. They're not making anymore. You could have picked holes in Frank Lampard in European football when he came up against Sevilla and Valencia last season. I think it's Valencia last season. They lost 2-0 in their first game, and then they got a draw in the following one against Seville in the first leg. They drew 0-0, and in this one again the other day it's 4-0. So you can see progression there. Although you might not agree with his style, you may think he's tactically inept or whatever. He's winning games. You're in a good position. And he himself is progressing as a manager. You can see that. What next for Arsenal though? Let's start with you, Sat. What next? Are the fans right to be talking about, or some of the? We'll say some of the fans because it's just a loud, small minority, I'd say, that's even contemplating Arteta at the moment.
It's only the ones I've seen that are basically saying if you're not on board with Arteta, you're not a real fan. Go and support Spurs. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You've got, obviously, I think Nathan will probably can share some light on this. Not all of Man United fans are still wanting Ole, are they? They still talk about Poch. They still talk about another manager. But I'm sure Nathan is still behind Ole because he can see something. So he still wants Ole, but then some United fans want Poch instead. Some fan, aren't there? But it's like Arteta, I've always said, he's still not got the players that he wants. And people can turn around to me and say, yeah, but he wanted Willian. He gave David Luiz a new contract. He kept Mustafi. He brought back Rob Holding instead of sending him to Newcastle. And it's like, yes, that's restrictions. He's got to do that because he can't just let them go.
It's not always about what you have got. It's about what Arsenal haven't got.
That's it.
It's in a lot.
And that's why I think Arteta is too much. I need some time to make things happen like with him now, because the new manager that comes in will have the same squad now, and then they'll be losing games. You'll be saying, get him out. It's not right.
Yes, yeah.
That's it. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at United and going, right, they went to Moyes, they went to Mourinho, LVG, now with Ole. We can't just keep swapping managers. You have to stick to something. You've got to take the bad to enjoy the good. And that's what I'm doing. I didn't want Arteta to begin with, but I'm not going to be an idiot and shout it out. I can see what Arteta's doing. I've seen something before we're going into the FA Cup. Probably Arteta's best performance I've seen from Arsenal is the FA Cup semi-final against City, because they did really come onto us that day and we all defended like bleeding superheroes and we caught them on the counter. That's what we used to do. And for some strange reason, he's not doing that now. It's like he's more concentrated on defending rather than attacking. But he knows we can't attack because we have no midfield.
But I'll get onto my point in a sec. Jerome, where do we go from here? What's happening at Arsenal? Are they in crisis? Is it time for Arteta to go?
Don't bring Ozil back either. Don't bring Ozil back.
Right, it's not time for Arteta. It's not time. It's not time for Arteta to go. Not time for him to go. As far as I'm concerned, this season is a free hit for Arsenal. Like I said before, in terms of league position, I don't really care. But I think Arteta's caught in a very tricky position because in an ideal world, if he doesn't fancy players long term, he shouldn't play them. But he's got to play them because he might not have any other choice. Like, it's all well and good saying, "Oh, just play the youngsters," But for a number of reasons, say you want to try and get some money for like a Xhaka, you can't just drop him and then he doesn't play for the rest of the season, because then you'll lose a few million quid just by doing that. So I think Arteta is in an impossible position, and I think the fans have got to take a step back, take a couple of deep breaths, and just face the fact that this season is going to be terrible, ride it out, and go again next season. See what happens in the summer, and then I think start judging him properly middle of next season. But don't start calling for his head now, because if you do, you're an idiot.
Right. It's just one of very few times I allow people to call anyone idiots.
I was about to say, sweet and subtle, Jerome.
But I think you're right. I think people's heads have just gone too early. Steve, go on.
Yeah, I agree with most of everything that Jerome said there. So Nathan, any joking. No, especially with the bit where he said it was good. This season's a free hit, and I think fans watching tonight and fans that will watch during the week or whatever, I think Arsenal fans have got to take that in and take every game as a free hit, because we ain't going to get any better at the moment. The only thing that really worries me at the moment, considering how long I've supported Arsenal all my life, is that I'm beginning to worry that now, whether we've got the money or not, that players want to come to Arsenal anymore. We keep having a go at the board. We keep having a go at so-and-so and so-and-so. Why didn't we get this player? Why didn't we get that player? Well, there's a lot of players that we've been having a moan about that we haven't got and that have gone on to other clubs. So that worries me. That worries me, the fact that Arsenal Football Club, where it used to be in that top two of where they used to, it used to be Man United, and then underneath it used to be Arsenal. I don't think I'm really worried, and I think that Arsenal are so far down there when the top players, look at moving to the Premiership. And if that's the case, then we're going to be in big trouble, and we're going to be sort of lurking around that 7th, 8th space at the most, at best. But the other way, if that's not, then we've got to have. It's not on the football pitch, because the players on the football pitch, for me, are doing what they're doing, because they're not world beaters. They're not world-class players. They are what they are. They're average footballers. You can't expect Bellerin to be Philip Lahm. You can't expect, Granit Xhaka to be Pirlo. You can't expect, where I'm going with this, and you can't expect these players to do it. They're probably, I wouldn't say they don't try when they go out there every week. One thing I would not say about them is that I look at the pitch and I can see them not trying. They're trying the best, but they haven't got the quality. They haven't got it. They just haven't got it. That's why I don't ever go at the players. But so in that case, we need the money, and it goes back to Kroenke. And he seems to be our only hope. I'm forgetting the fact that players don't want to come to us. It's just a matter of we just need that blank checkbook. And Jerome's right. You can't ever go at Arteta. I mean, no manager could come in and do anything with this club the way it is at the minute. So hopefully we can just ride it through, give this season, and hopefully in the summer, January, we can be given the blank checkbook and pray that the big players still want to come to Arsenal Football Club.
One thing I will say though, Arsenal Football Club will always have that pull. We'll always have that pull to get players to come to us. It's like when Newcastle, right, went down to the Championship. Everyone said, "Oh no, we'll go to Newcastle. They'll leave one by one." Are you kidding me? There was a queue long enough going to Sunderland that wanted to play for Newcastle. Yeah, because that's what they wanted to do. And the thing with,
I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, and the thing, right? I don't want Arteta and the board to bring Ozil back, because that's what did Emery in. Because when Granit Xhaka, obviously with the armband and threw it and told the fans and everything because of these comments he were getting, that's what did it. Because he went, "Oh no, I've got the fans on my back now. I'll bring Ozil in, get him back on side." No. That ended him,
No,
in
that's
my
not what you
opinion.
like to do.
And I've got it on good authority that Ozil actually did things in the dressing room as well with the players
No,
that got rid of Emery. Just don't want him here.
He's got to be
Bad
doing
egg.
it. He's got to be doing it in training for him to come back on the, to play.
Yeah. Nathan, from outside of you, what do you think it is that Arsenal need? Do you think they're in crisis? Do you think they're in big trouble?
I think they've always, to me, over the last years, I've felt that they're defensively not good enough. I never really thought they ever brought in a world-class defender. Gabriel's probably one of the best they brought in lately, but still you need another one. And I was always thinking, you know what, you guys could do with Smalling, like joining you. And
mate.
Do you know what?
Mate, we had this conversation.
Nathan,
we had this conversation.
Thank you so much.
We had this.
I love the Leipzig guy instead, but fair enough, Smalling, if that's what you want.
He's a realistic player who wasn't playing, who's really good for United, and obviously United didn't want him, and he could move on and go somewhere and better a team. It was an Arsenal that I could see him fitting like a glove. When Martial wasn't playing and he was looking like leaving, I was thinking he would do really well at a Tottenham or an Arsenal. But you guys, to be fair, you don't stick with your best teams either. When I saw Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, and I was watching them guys attacking, I was like, these look really good. Then the next game, I see Lacazette on the bench. Then Pepe not playing. So then I was thinking, why does he do that? Like, why does he not just play his best team? Like, I'm scared of that team, but then they're never playing often. So I'm like, oh great, if you don't want to play them, great. Arsenal look like, for number one, they don't play their best attacking threats. Obviously, the problem with Ozil now, where he's the only guy who has that eye for. Now that you've got the other players that could probably do the defensive work, which everyone hated Ozil about, when things are not going well, they just get on his back. But it's a Bruno kind of situation. With no Bruno at United, we cannot see them passes. With no Ozil, there's no one else that can play them passes. So if you don't want him in the side, you're going to kill yourself, because you ain't got another player as good as him to do that. So for me, if now you've got like a player like Partey in there, Xhaka, Ozil, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe, that would be my team for you guys. And I'd play that every week, make sure that I get the best out of them every week. Saka can come on the right, in the hole. If Ozil comes injured, he can go in the hole. He's lost a bit of pace, so he can't really do what he does normally on the right. Or he can sometimes play out there. But again, that's what when I look at Arsenal, I think that's what kind of things that they need to do. And they just never seem to do it. And obviously, just get another defender in. Like I said, Smalling. Tierney looks really good, so I like him. Gabriel's looking okay. Like I said, you need another centre-back. I'm not really having anyone else in the back four. Just you've got a left side and a left centre. You need a right side centre and a right back. That's going to be of the higher levels. You need another midfielder, and then you need another guy in the hole. And you're pretty good from there. You'll be toxic.
Other than that.
Other than that,
yeah, it's not going to send us to shopping list, mate.
We do miss that player who can play that cutting through ball. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah,
the only time I can remember that type of ball being played was Ozil against Burnley, where he played it.
We do miss a player like that, but I think we can go out there
time.
and get a player like that. That's not
Ozil, yeah. And Ozil's downfall came when he didn't have someone behind him to give him the ball. Ozil's downfall came when Cazorla went missing. Went missing, then Sanchez went missing, Ozil was done. When he's got nothing on the left and nothing behind him, he's done. And you can't expect this guy to do everything. Ozil's on the pitch, okay, now it's going to start ticking. Well, who's around him? And that's the problem.
Isn't it? That was the problem last the other years. When he had no one else, and everyone expects him to get it, take it forward and score and set up and do everything. And then all you need is two players on him or one player. He passes to someone else, then we lose it. And everyone's like, Pogba's not done anything. Same with Ozil. That's what I was seeing. But, that's just my opinion. Yeah. That's the way it is, man.
So, we talked about replacing players. We haven't replaced them, have we? We haven't replaced Walcott. We haven't replaced Chamberlain.
No.
We haven't replaced Ramsey. We haven't replaced Cazorla. I mean,
No, because there was this.
I'd love Koscielny next to Gabriel right now. Oh, I'd love that.
The worry that I have is that Gabriel, like many other defenders we've had, I think we're talking about Gabriel like he's an anomaly. Arsenal have had very good defenders in their first season. For Marlon, brilliant in his first season, was in the team of the year. Mustafi, brilliant in his first season. Yeah, and if anyone says they weren't, they're lying. Gabriel, brilliant so far in his first season. The worry is second season, third season. Are we going to bring him down? Are we going to bring him down to a worse level? That's the worry, because we haven't put in someone next to him that's good enough. Are we going to try and squeeze in some half-assed defender when we need a world-class defender? Are we going to bring in that central midfielder that's going to be big? Not necessarily has to be big money, but the right player that sits next to a Thomas Partey, the right player that sits in front of that player. That's the worry. That's the worry. Arsenal there's been a lot of talk and a lot of PR stuff recently, especially with the Cronkies. They need to now back it, because if they don't, I just see this simmering toxic atmosphere coming back tenfold, mate. Because there's been so much sort of trust put in the hope that at the end of the season, 4 or 5 players are going, Ozil's off the wage bill, this and that happens, we're going to bring in players. That's the worry for me. Are we going to bring in players?
Do you know who should be a good centre-back pairing? Should be Pablo Mari and Gabriel. That's what eventually.
I think Pablo Mari looks all right. He's short on a few things, but again, it's an option. But I think we should be looking to get him better than Mari. We should be looking to get him better and more experienced than Gabriel. And that's not to say that Gabriel's not looking like a brilliant defender, but I don't think Gabriel, as 22, should be the main man. He needs to be looking up to someone. He needs a partner next to him, because he's still learning his game.
You know what's going on with Arsenal now? It's like, you guys are down. Let's say you're down at this level here now. You want to get here before you can go here. So you have to get that level of player who's here now, who's willing to come to you, to then start playing well, to then be able to get them players.
Yes.
Down here to up here. And that's the problem. You need to go domestic. Find who are the best players in this league now at the best clubs, like your fullback at Brighton, like that. You need to play as Southampton players who are killing. Get them boys in.
I was saying this to Steve the other day. Buying domestically is massively important. Is massively important. It's part of the reason why I think Arteta brought in Willian, because it's domestic. It's a player who has been in the top 4 for the last however many years, a position we've not been in. We haven't bought players from the top 4 teams. Now there's one potentially there on a free. It seems like a no-brainer to get him. That was my thinking behind it. You still need to bring in players that are going to take us to that next level. Liverpool managed to do it with the likes of Coutinho and Suarez. And if it weren't for them two, they would probably still be back there, because they were in that wilderness for years. But those players propelled them. They took them up. We need to find those gems. Right now, some of the players in our squad ain't going to do that.
That's it, because recruitment needs to be better, because the owner, for me, is not the issue. Investment, for me, is not the issue, because we've had investment. We've spent more money in 6 years than Chelsea. We've spent more money than Liverpool, more money than Leicester, more money than Wolves, more money, not a City, obviously, and Man United. But you know what I mean.
All right, but I heard this the other day. Someone was shouting about Arteta's this, Arteta's that. It's not got nothing to do with the board. It's Arteta since 2015. We've had 2015. Who cares about 2015? We're in 2020. Mikel Arteta's been there since 2019. The 2020 is the year he should be judged from. These years bringing in players. Has he got the players and the backing to bring in the players this year? Did in the summer Arsenal do what Chelsea done and go, boom, we're going to get those players? Okay, the game plan was to get players out first, not show all our cards, then bring in players once we've got them players. It didn't work. It failed miserably. So if we're turning around and saying it was a game plan, it flopped. It flopped the same way as Liverpool trying to get Werner, and it flopped the same way as Man United trying to get Sancho. We're in the same boat. Like, it flopped. And what did we do other than that? We brought in a Thomas Partey on the last day. Did we get in another central midfielder as a number 10 replacement for Mesut Ozil when we knew we needed one? No. So he wasn't backed. He wasn't backed. Did we bring in a striker when he didn't really fancy Lacazette to really push Lacazette out? No, he wasn't backed. It's the same way as getting rid of the defenders that we don't want. Did we get rid of them because we could have taken less money? These players that are going on a free at the end of the day and at the end of the season. No, we didn't. So it wasn't backed. That's the kind of backing you need. That kind of backing, the kind of backing that Chelsea got. Okay, we just get him in, and then if we have to, we just loan them out to get them off the books. That's the risk you got to take. We weren't willing to take that risk, so we can't say it's not about money. We can't say we've been backed. It's not backing. What Arteta did was too much to try and get these players with a year left on the books, and try and get 12 million for them, 10 million for them. It's a joke. Up until like 4 or 5 days before the transfer window closes, like, okay, will you take 5 million? Will you take £3 million compensation for Socrates? Well, he ain't even going to be in the squad. They're not going to take him. They're going to go, no, bro, we'll take it. How about we take it for free in January just to get him off your wage bill? No, it's poor. We can't be backing what the board has done. I'm not going to be standing there with a pitchfork and lantern. I can't be backing what the board has done with bringing in transfers. I can't at all.
Yeah.
All right.
Well said.
Okay. I think I'm all Arsenal'd out, if I'm honest. I feel tired. Look what you've done to me.
We're supposed to talk about Tottenham, are we?
No. Why?
Oh,
all right. Little brief on Tottenham. Yeah, I mean, I expected nothing less from Mourinho. He done what he did. He's got players like Harry Kane defending, getting more touches in their own half than he's in their half, and he's still happy. He's probably promised him a medal at the end of the season or some form of trophy, and you can't see him not getting that, whether that's in the Cup, whether that's in the Premier League, whatever. I can't see Tottenham not winning something. So that bit of banter that people have about Tottenham is not going to last very long. Tottenham have been a force for a good few years now. It was just that trophy that was the stepping stone, the thing that ain't going to be there for long.
That guy's Twitter account's on the line this season. I'm telling you, since the last time Tottenham won a trophy.
I think what he's done this season, Mourinho, has been pretty Mourinho-like from when he first came into the Premiership. He's bought players who've all gone, what?
Yeah.
And he's fitting them in, like Nathan was saying a little while ago, players where you need in certain places, and it's gone bang, bang, bang. Harry Kane's gone from this, we can't see it, to this, to that. You know, he's gone from what I thought was, and we all thought, guys, didn't we? We had half a show on him. And we all thought he was done. We thought he was done. But now he's just turned into a different player. Go on, John, sorry.
Harry Kane?
No, Go on.
I'll just say one thing about Kane that people need to talk about, but they won't. He's done this a few times. It happened in the second half where the ball's up in the air and Gabriel went for it, and he sort of backs in. And the player's up in the air, and one of these days he's going to really seriously injure someone.
No, he is.
And no one says anything about it. There's a few clips that are going around.
No, because he gets away with it. He's the golden boy. He's the golden boy of England. He gets away with it.
He plays it very well. He plays it very, very well. He times it very well.
He's resorted to cheat, but he wants a trophy.
No. It's to be fair, he's probably done that his whole career. Like,
that's what I mean, but he never used to do it as much. He started diving more in boxes. He dives a few more to get free kicks.
No way, no, bro, come on. No,
he does.
Harry Kane.
He does.
Harry Kane has always been that player.
Nathan, he does, doesn't it? He does. He dives.
He was a centre forward.
He's
got a smile on his face there.
Every player kind of dives. Most players kind of dive a bit, but in terms. That's a good trait as a striker to be backing in like that at times. I know it's a bit dangerous when they jump up and they end up falling a certain way, but there's a way that we're taught to like back to then obviously make the foul. If you're backing in a certain amount, then and they jump onto us, we get the foul.
Yeah.
A lot of times they jump up and smash our head in the back, and we're like dazed. So we have to do our thing.
What it is we back in the people, and then the defence just crackers us, and we're like, oh, we don't even know where we are. Like, get out of it. Get out of it.
But James right.
There's goalkeepers union and there's strikers union. And on that note, Nathan, thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate you coming in. The longest you've been on, obviously you enjoyed it. It was a good very much, Nathan. Thank you. We'll see you next week, mate.
Thanks, Nathan.
Wait till next week, Manchester Derby.
Cheers, man.
Manchester Derby. We're coming in.
Oh, yeah.
See you later.
See you later, Nathan. Cheers, mate.
If Nathan comes on next Sunday, they could be top.
All right.
Yeah,
yes, and this
next Sunday.
Not bad for a team with not a proper manager, Si?
No, they do need a proper manager. I don't rate Ollie at all. Sorry, that Man United team, we have proper manager, would be top of the league without a loss.
What does that say? What does that say? They got the recruitment. That says they got the recruitment. It says
Ollie's doing well so far, but they need that extra manager.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been in the job, what? Is it just over 8 months longer than, I think he's been a year and 8 months, whereas Arteta's been a year. So he got it like, I think, in and around the same time, but the year before. Yeah. Since then, he's managed to bring in Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's brought in, what's the list of players they've brought in?
Donny van der Beek, Fernandes.
I don't mean his players he's bringing in. I mean tactics on the pitch. No. There's going to be certain games that they're not going to get wins. They're going to get losses.
All right, cool. That's fine. But forget about tactics on the pitch. We're talking about players on the pitch. Yeah. One manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has been back to the hill. Yeah. So everything he's judged on is now him. He's currently sitting second in the league. Yeah. Mikel Arteta, on the other hand, is being judged with the players he has and then not all the players he wants. He has not been backed fully, man. He is not. Like, even if you look at Jose, when he first got into Man United, look how many players they brought in straight away. Because each manager needs their own set of players so that they can be judged. Arsenal don't do that. Arsenal aren't doing that. It's one, it's not fair on the manager. It's just all over the place because of it. Because you've got to spend a season and a half trying to drudge around with players that ain't yours, players you don't fancy, smashing teams together. It's not the way it should be done. It's not the way a football team should be run.
We know Arteta. We know the man. We know his personality. We've heard him talk. We all think we know who he is by now. Do you honestly think he would have taken this job with no backing?
No. He would have outlined. I think he would have outlined what he thinks he can do. But I think there would have been a certain amount of him that would have. Look, he would have been under no illusion that he would have had to deal with the team that he's got as well. And I'm sure with many footballers, with their egos, they feel that they can do a job with what they got because they feel they're good enough to do that. And I can't say that Arteta hasn't done a good job. Like, it'd be unfair to say he hasn't done a good job. Since he came in, he's set up a team. It looks like he's building from the back, but it's now got to a stage where he needs some real financial backing, some real power, like real power plays, not half-assed. Oh, we're going to do this. Or in the next window, we bring in this. It can't be that. It needs to be boom, boom.
And as well as that, and as hard as this is going to sound, and probably comments are going to go crazy, he's got to get rid of a few of them kids because they're not going to be up. They're not Arsenal players. They're not going to be regular Arsenal players. The Keat is not going to be a regular Arsenal player. Nelson's not going to be a resident. Warlock's not going to be an art. Just let them go. Let them go and have a career.
Yeah, but how much do you think he's looking at people like Willock and thinking, and Nelson and thinking, if I get rid of them, am I going to get in a replacement?
Well, if they don't, if there's that's a good thing there to judge it. You know that these players are still there and they're still there in January and they're still there in the summer.
Yeah.
You know, we've got to worry. I think we've got something to worry about.
Yeah,
he needs to be ruthless, doesn't he? He needs to be ruthless in the transfer market.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
But as I say, it goes back to that same thing as what I was saying about is that I know Simon's. I just want to agree. I hope Simon's right, but I just worry. I just worry about that. We've just not got that pull anymore. I know we get the odd player. I mean, Thomas Partey's come from Ghana. They're all Arsenal fans from Ghana. They all love Arsenal from their share.
They are now.
So he ain't going to be hard to get, is he? You know.
No, I
the president sat there going, "Thank God I can do an announcement now on telly."
I know what you mean, yeah. But I think Arsenal have still got that pull now. My worry is in 2 years' time, if we're still sitting in the same position, are we going to have that pull then? No, I don't think we are. I think we're going to have to buy the lower player, and that's a worry. But we're talking about and disgracing players that we feel aren't good enough for the club, and this player's not good enough, and that player's not good enough. But we're currently sitting 15th in the league, and there's teams that are above us who we thought we were well ahead of before the season, and they're well above us. Do you know what I mean? Teams Everton,
I can remember Embry. I can remember Embry. We all said, well, some of us said Jack Grealish. No, I don't want Jack Grealish. What, for Championship? Nah, no chance. Now we'd all wish he were part of our squad.
Yeah. And what Simon just said, that's a good point, because that shows you where you are. Yeah, because now you're 1 minute you're saying that, like what he just said. I'm just repeating what Simon said. One minute you sod off Jack Grealish. Next minute, we'll have Jack Grealish, because you're getting desperate. You know, you'd have anything. You know, anybody.
Yeah, that's making Jack Grealish sound like he's rubbish, but he's not. But it's it was that 2 years ago you were looking, why do we want to play from the Championship? We're Arsenal. Now it's like, is there anything in the Championship that we can have? Like it's a worrying time.
I mean, Rudiger's he's up for January, isn't he? He's looking for somewhere to go.
Yeah, do you think Chelsea are going to sell to us?
Maybe in 10 years' time they'll sell him to us.
Yeah. We'll sign N'Golo Kante when he's bleeding 41.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a bad timing, that's to be fair. Jerome.
Jacques as the manager.
Guardian top 16. What you got for us today?
Right.
Bring us some light at the end of this tunnel. Maybe Arsenal could sign some of them.
Hopefully. Guardian top 60 this week is a guy called Edouard Michoud, a 17-year-old that plays for PSG. He's been with them since 2016, and he signed a 3-year contract in July. Now, I don't know if you remember, but the PSG they've let a couple of their promising youngsters leave. There's a guy called Adil Al-Chish who left them, and he's now playing for St Etienne, and he's in their first team playing regularly. So they didn't want to make the same mistake with this guy, because there was interest from like Barca and Man City in him. He's a central midfielder. They've labelled him the sort of the new Marco Verratti. Quite similar in style and sort of stature to him. Very, very comfortable on the ball. He's already been training with a senior team, first team. He's quite like an elegant central midfielder. And I'm surprised they didn't give him a longer contract, to be honest, because 3 years that'll be up soon. But Edouard Michoud, the next PSG look for.
Yeah, that Abdel Achi, he's at St Etienne, isn't he? Arsenal were linked with him.
Yeah.
They were held talks, didn't they? I think as well early in the summer. But yeah. All right, seems like a player that Arsenal could have actually done with. I mean, not maybe like being week in, week out, but something for the future.
Yeah,
especially on a free as well.
That's it.
We'd be like going down the Marshes next week on a free. Some to future about 16.
It'd be a bad idea. Let's see what she got. I mean, Jerome.
Oh no, that's I think that's it for the.
No, sorry. There was a player that we spoke about previously.
Yusuf Demir.
He actually played the other day against Arsenal, didn't he?
Yeah. So he did. He started the game. To be totally honest with you, he's a 17-year-old attacking midfielder that plays for Rapid Vienna.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, during the game, I hardly noticed him. I only noticed him near the end when, I don't know if you remember, he sort of went down holding his stomach.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I watched the game and didn't really notice him because obviously Vienna were terrible. However, you can go back and watch his individual highlights, and he actually played quite well. He played a really big part in their goal. He played a little 1-2 and sort of made space, and there was a bit of a muck up with the defence, but he sort of initiated the whole thing. He looks a lot more far superior to his teammates, but I think it's the physicality. Like, he still needs to develop a bit of power in his shooting. His body needs to bulk up a bit, perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, you could see he had the close control, good dribbling. But it's just that he obviously hardly had the ball because Arsenal was so superior. But he definitely didn't
disgrace himself.
No way, not at all.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. I saw a bit of him during the game. When they said his name, it reminded me. I was like, I'm sure Jerome spoke about him previously. And yeah, he's got a good touch. But being 17 and playing in the Austrian league week in, week out, I mean, he's going to bulk up. He's going to develop that side of his game, and obviously playing in Europe as well. It's going to help him in the end.
Yeah, I think he'll get noticed and leave in a couple of years. Just because of his technical level seems sort of too good for that team.
Yeah. Good spot. All right, it's now time for the transfer roundup. And we've got a few exclusives in there. We've got a bit of news to catch up on Chelsea, Man City, Tottenham, the usual suspects, and of course, Arsenal. All right, starting off, AC Milan are now in talks to extend the contracts of goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma and midfielder Hakan Calhanoglu. Can't believe I got that right. And they're looking to extend their contracts by 2 years. West Ham are monitoring the progress of 18-year-old fullback Matthew Bodswell, who's currently on loan at FC Dortmund from RB Leipzig. Jerome, did you have a look at this one?
Nah.
No, you didn't. Okay, didn't think you did. It was a test. No, you didn't. I didn't even put your name underneath it, but I thought to myself, did I miss one out here? No, I didn't. Well done. Live TV. All right. Juventus are targeting Atletico Madrid centre-back Stefan Savic. Arsenal have revived their interest in RB Leipzig defender Ibrahim Konate. Right, Arsenal could do with him. But do you know what? I like the look of him. There was a little bit of a worry with me with him and Gabriel at centre-back, just because they're both very inexperienced. What do they have around them? I can fully envisage someone like Bellerin potentially leaving at the end of the season, because PSG will probably still be interested. He fits the mould. He's got the profile, that kind of thing. And I just don't see him being there long term. They probably will bring in, if they do, someone younger. I can't see it bringing in someone experienced. So I think that centre-back pairing with Gabriel will probably have to be someone who's a bit longer in the tooth. Not necessarily a David Luiz, but there's a reason why these players are looking all right next to him, because he's marshalling them about.
Yeah, Rudiger, I think, could be a good signing. He's not that old, is he?
I asked my mate what it was, why Chelsea fans have kind of switched on him a little bit, and he reckons it's something to do with since that Tottenham incident, his head's gone a bit. So I'm wondering if it's a change of scenery is what he needs, because he's a very good defender.
Maybe he's got an injury. I don't know. It's like Jerome said, they've either got to be like over 30 or a croc. If Chelsea defenders sell to us.
Reds are now warming to the idea of selling starlet Eduardo Camavinga for a fee of around €50 million. Oh, that's got that. What are we saying on the price there? Steve.
Sorry, say that again, mate. I was.
Camavinga, 50 million euros.
Yeah, that's a good price. I don't think that's a. You know, I think a lot of people will snap that up.
Yeah. What do you reckon on that, Jerome? Good price for Camavinga?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The way with the amount, the transfer fees at the moment, 50 million for probably one of the most highly rated central midfielders. That's I can't. How old is he? 19, 20, 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, he's like 17.
Young, very young. Yeah.
I think he's still 17.
17. Right, there you go.
Yeah, and he's a French. He's playing for the.
I'll pay
He's playing for the French national team. Oh yeah, no, he turned 18 on the 10th of November.
Yeah,
still a pup, mate. Still a pup, and he's played a load of games for Rennes. He's got 3 or 4 caps for French international team now, and he had got that at 17. And Didier Deschamps ain't picking him just for the sideshow. He's not picking him like for. He's picking him on merit.
Yeah.
He's still got a lot to learn, but I think anyone paying 50 million euros for Camavinga in 2 or 3 years' time they're gonna be laughing at that price tag. Man United are hoping that Villarreal could be tempted to take back their former player Eric Bailly as a part of a deal which takes Pau Torres to Manchester United. Leeds United are expected to be top of the head of the queue for Liverpool's forward Divock Origi. Tottenham are monitoring Sassuolo defender Guillaume Marco Ferrari. Jerome, you had a little look at him. What's he looking like?
Yeah. God, he's a 28-year-old centre back. He look. How does he look? He's left-footed. Positionally, he seems pretty good. Lots of importantly timed interceptions, lots of last-ditch tackles, and he sort of come to the fore this season because his team he plays for, they're actually 4th in Serie A. They've had a really good start, but his sort of whole career up to date, I wouldn't say he's been in the Italian wilderness, but he hasn't played for sort of well-known teams in Italy, and he's already 28. He's been called up to the Italian squad, but never actually played a game. I think this is a sort of player that they would get to sort of beef up their centre-back options rather than be a regular starter week in, week out.
Yeah.
To be honest.
All right, thank you very much for that. Steve, you got some Man City news for me?
Yeah, just quickly. They're reshaping their strike force, as everybody knows. In January, the 2 players are Darwin Núñez and Patson Daka. In the summer, for some reason, they seem to go up in price. And those players are Haaland and Martinez. As far as the Messi thing's going at the moment, Barcelona have come out with a statement this week. I mean, they're an absolute PR disaster, aren't they? I mean, you've got the standing president Carlos Tuquets. I mean, he's come out and said Messi shouldn't even be here. He should leave. And he's a crippling debt of £320 million. So I thought the idea was to be trying to keep Messi. I thought that was the story, but according to Mr. Tusquets, he wants him out and quick. He's also came out and said there is no chance of Neymar coming to the club. He said unless it was on a free. I think he's quite got a sense of humour there, Mr. Tusquets says. And the one more on Manchester City, and this is true because I've spoken to everybody, every contact that I know, and they've all said the same thing. And John Stones has been contacted by Arsenal, but the key will all depend on Eric Garcia, whether the Barcelona move will go through.
Which is very likely to.
And that story is from about 4 different contacts regarding Man City, and you know who they are, and all the top ones said the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's that's the Man City.
All right. I thought you had say on Bogard, but I'd speak about it now.
Go on now.
Yeah.
You do
Barcelona,
that. You do that.
Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Man City all interested in Netherlands youth centre back Melero Bogard. Jerome, you had a little look at him. What's he saying?
Yeah, so his people might recognise his surname. He is actually related to Winston Bogard. He's his nephew, former Chelsea and Barcelona player. So yeah, as you say, he's a Dutch youth international, 18, centre back. He spent most of his youth career at Feyenoord and then moved to Hoffenheim in Germany in 2018. So last season he made his debut, but he played at right back, and there's a bit of basically physically he's not really a typical centre back. He's very slight in terms of his physique. He reminds me a bit of Maitland-Niles, but he on the ball he's quality. He doesn't look like a centre back on the ball. He's played sort of in front of the defence. He played fullback, but for a team that wants to sort of play from the back like a Man City, he could be pretty good. He became the youngest Dutch player in Bundesliga history when he made his debut for Hoffenheim.
Wow.
In 2019, his Dutch team, they won. I think they won the tournament, and he got in the team of the tournament for the Euro Under-17s. But yeah, he's on the ball. You could.
So what's his main position? Centre back, is it?
Yeah, he's a centre back, but he's not really built like a typical centre back.
No.
Yeah.
What was his dad?
No,
He's right back. His uncle.
His uncle.
Uncle, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was right back. But Man City had the kid who's at Fulham at the moment. Is it Adebayo, centre back, who's very slim but tall.
Yeah.
He had a very good game the other day. I can't remember who it was against. I think it was against Man City. But he looked very, very good.
Okay.
So it's a very similar mould, probably.
Yeah, I think I don't know how tall he is. I think he's about 6 foot. He's no bigger than that, but very slight. So it'd be interesting to see where he ends up playing.
Where he fits in. Right, thanks for that. Newcastle have decided not to offer non-league striker Kedwin Scott a professional contract after having the forward on loan, having the forward on trial. Everton are looking to bring in centre-back Samuel Titi, with Barcelona willing to accept 10.7 million. Right now, would you take Titi at Arsenal?
Yes.
Sitting next to Gabriel?
Yes.
Who are you bringing in a centre-back pairing for Arsenal inside? You turned up your nose at that one.
I'd rather go out and get the guy from Leipzig, to be honest.
Yeah, but 10 million though. 10 million?
No, I get that, but you could spend that money and get Titi, and then he gets an injury, and then he gets another injury, and then he gets another injury. And you can go and get the guy from Leipzig and put a proper investment into a proper player and get a proper player. I mean, look at Ousmane Dembele. The guy's out for another 3 months.
But are these? We've heard there's issues with the way that Barcelona.
If you could keep him at Arsenal and he don't get an injury, or he gets a slight little too weaker, but it's not months like he picks up at Barca, then yes. But I don't want to take that chance. I'm fed up at Arsenal buying cheap players to do a job.
Problems about Barca and their training regimes being.
It's all machines.
Being very dodgy, which is why players are picking up injuries, so they say. It'd be interesting to see what the actual issue is there at Barcelona. All right. Manchester United, Tottenham and Chelsea are monitoring Brighton centre-back Ben White. Spurs remain interested in Inter Milan and Slovakia forward Milan Skriniar. Steve, a little bit of news on Spurs?
Yeah, I had that as well. That they're interested in Milan Skriniar.
Yeah.
They bought him from Sampdoria for 31.6 million. I think they won about 50 for him, so being a bit greedy, really. And also, just quickly going on from Tottenham, they're monitoring Sabitzer, which we talked about last week. Also monitoring Dominic Szoboszlai. So we hope we don't get them. Hello, Tottenham fans. Congratulations. And also, Paulo Gazziniga's leaving in January. He just can't get the games. He just can't get the games there.
The goalkeeper.
Yeah, and he's moving on in January. And the only team that seems to be interested in him at the moment are Leeds. So, it seems that a lot of goalkeepers at the moment are looking for new homes, doesn't it?
Yeah, they are. Manchester City is set to bring it. That's it. Manchester City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne is set to sign a new deal, which keep him at the Etihad until 2025. Jack Wilshere has held talks with Edu over return on a pay-as-you-play contract. So, any update on this? Has it got any further? Was it just talks? Have they all just held talks? Is there any update on it, mate?
No, still the same as what I told you. So there's no update. So if you want to fill everyone in, it's up to you. Like.
Yeah. So basically, we had this news like last week, and when Jack Wilshere came out and said that he, our Arsenal, would like to go back to Arsenal, and he said, "You never know." We haven't spoken or anything. Well, that wasn't entirely the truth. Jack Wilshere's agent reached out to Arsenal, I think it was, and spoken to Arsenal about willing to come back on a pay-as-you-play deal till the end of the season. We got further news that had now Jack Wilshere has spoken to Edu himself about potentially coming back. And we'll see what happens from there. So keep your eyes peeled. There's probably a reason why the Rangers talk, the MLS talk, and all these other teams have kind of died down a little bit because, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if Jack Wilshere came back till the end of the season in January because it's just an easy option for Arsenal. It's an easy option. The board will say, yeah, why not? It's a pay-as-you-play. It pays into their hands. If he gets injured, it doesn't matter because he's not getting paid. So, and he's probably, in himself, he's thinking, look, I'm probably better off being able to find a team in the summer and I might as well just train with a team while that's happening. And what better team would that be than Arsenal in Jack's mind is what I'm thinking. So, yeah, I honestly, if I'm honest, I can see this happening. I can see it happening because there's other deals which there's kind of it's not necessarily sticking points, but there's other deals I just can't see Arsenal back in January.
Yeah.
Certain deals I can't see back in January.
What's Flamini? Is he doing anything lately?
No, he's one of the richest footballers of all time. So he obviously don't want to do his hands dirty anymore. He's into biochemistry or something like that. So a billionaire.
I just forgot about Spurs. I just quickly with Spurs. I just forgot one. Demarai Gray. Yeah. Spurs want him at the end of the season, at the summer. Josie really wants him. He wants him on a free
contract.
Yeah. Free contract. No, not free contract.
No, pre-contract in January.
Pre-contract in January.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about that. But this don't look like it's going to happen anyway. But Rodgers is not been really complimentary towards Gray very recently. Contacts I spoke to knows the manager at Fenerbahce. And he, the guy at Fenerbahce wanted Gray, and they had a chat. And then he went on to speak to the player's agent, Demarai Gray's agent. Just the contacts would speak to Demarai Gray's agent, and he said he was staying at Leicester. And also there could be things happening with Kelgar Sancho, and he said that he will keep me up to date because they've all got the same agents and he knows them and he speaks to them. So keep your eyes on that.
So Sancho's potentially off in the summer.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Demarai Gray could potentially be staying.
Yeah.
All right, interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. The Gunners yet to make a bid for Norwich midfielder Emi Buendia. The Argentine is among one of their transfer options in the January transfer window. That was with Football London.
I'll take him.
Arsenal just made an inquiry. And that was all. There's been nothing more than that. French defender Jean-Claire Todibo is set to return to Barcelona after failing to play a single minute for Benfica.
Oh, what's happening, man?
Yeah.
What has happened?
Tottenham boss Jose Mourinho said it's not his decision whether he wants to sell midfielder Dele Alli. It looks like while Mourinho's there, it looks like his time's done at Tottenham. Liverpool have had 2 bids for Schalke defender Ozan Kabak and Leeds midfielder Kelvin Phillips rejected, and they're expected to go in again in January. Manchester City have prepared a contract for Lionel Messi in the January transfer window. Arsenal considering a move for Brighton midfielder Yves Bissouma. A few people, when they saw that, they were like,
"Who?
What? These guys laughed at us. These guys laughed at us." Well, it's football, mate. You move it from that. Tottenham, Everton, and Atletico Madrid are eyeing up Napoli striker Milik. I think that'd be a very good signing for Tottenham for Everton. Someone to play off of Calvin Lewin. West Ham are delaying formal contract talks with David Moyes and a few players as they assess the final implications of the coronavirus. Neymar on Messi reunion. We have to do it next season. Manchester City have met with Neymar has spoken to Manchester City representatives, just conversations. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens there. They want to change their strike force, likes of Neymar and Messi, which would be a joke. Arsenal are keeping tabs on Istanbul Başakşehir midfielder Berkay Özkan. Jerome, you had a little look at him. What's it saying?
Yeah, so this is, as you said, the team he plays for is the team that United played in the Champions League. So he's 22, attacking midfielder. He's sort of been labelled as, I don't know if you want to be labelled this, he's been labelled the new Ozil. He was born in Germany to Turkish parents, but he's a full Turkish international. Very nice footwork, quite a dynamic and mobile player, like aggressive dribbler with the ball, and he's got, unlike maybe I don't know, he's got a very good work ethic. But from the central midfield area, he doesn't get a lot of goals. So if Arsenal want a centre mid, an attacking midfielder that's going to score goals, I don't think at the moment this is the guy to go for from my point of view.
I think he's dropped a lot deeper since his original heyday at Schalke, Stuttgart, where he was labelled a wonder kid, and now he plays a lot deeper in midfield there, doesn't he? Yeah,
he can do that. Yeah, he can play sort of in a central midfield in a double pivot. But I'm not
convinced.
Not sure.
Jerome is not convinced, and if you're not convinced, Jerome, I'm not convinced. England striker Danny Ings has been urged by his manager to extend his current deal and sign a long-term deal at Southampton. He currently has, in 2022, the level of players that go on a free transfer is phenomenal. Like Neymar, Mbappe, Pogba, Danny Ings. Danny Ings is probably gassed right now that I put him in that same bracket as them lot. But Danny Ings is a decent player. I rate him. Tottenham midfielder Harry Winks could be set for a move in January to enhance his chances of playing in the European Championships with England. Man City are set to complete the signing of Gremio midfielder Diego Rosa. That's in the Manchester Evening News. Former Juventus manager Massimiliano Allegri says he wants to manage in the Premier League. Dominic Szoboszlai wants to join Arsenal over RB Leipzig.
Whoa.
Son, hit us up with some information.
I like how he just puts his face to the camera and goes, Simon.
I
can tell us.
I can tell the story, but I want you to tell the story.
I want you. No. If you want me to say, I'll say it.
We'll bounce off each other, all right? Like a tag team. I'm going to tag you in. Boom! All right. Basically, there's been a lot of to and froing, with the press, with the situation with Dominic Szoboszlai. Arsenal have held talks with his agent. They previously held talks before the summer when it was looking like he was going to go AC Milan. Personal terms have been agreed then. So, in principle, a conversation has been had with his agent. And Dominic Szoboszlai is open to joining Arsenal or Leipzig. That was clear. Recent reports that Real Madrid have held talks with, or Zidane has had conversations with Dominic Szoboszlai himself, but Szoboszlai feels that a move to Real Madrid would be too early right now in his career and his development, and it could hamper his development. And we've got news very, very late Thursday from Germany as well that says that Szoboszlai has opted to, his preference would be to sign for Arsenal. That doesn't mean he's going to sign for Arsenal, but the player's preference is to sign for Arsenal. He feels it would be good for his development. And I think the guy that gave our guy the news came from Leipzig, wasn't it? Or was it Munich? Or it was somewhere in Germany, wasn't it?
Mm.
So yeah. As soon as we get some more news on that, but this the reason why Leipzig are in pole position is because they've had a formal conversation with Salzburg. They've worked out a deal. Structured a deal. So until Arsenal, Real Madrid, or any of these other clubs that are meant to be interested come in with either a deal or let the club know they're going to be paying the minimum release clause, right now is Leipzig are in pole position. But the preference is for the player to join Arsenal.
Yeah, that's what he said. And then his agent, because basically Leipzig, if anyone that doesn't know, Salzburg and Leipzig are pretty much like the same club, basically. So they're like feeder clubs. So they'll start off at Salzburg and then they'll get pushed to Leipzig and then they'll enhance even more and then they'll go off to a Madrid or a team in the Premier League. Well, Szoboszlai, I can't pronounce his name, mate. He doesn't want to just go to Germany. His agent is not wanting him to go to Germany. His agent wants him to go to a team in England or in Spain. And this is what I've been told, and this is what I told Kieran. With the player, everything with Salzburg and Leipzig has been agreed ages ago. Fee, salary, all been agreed. And it'll go through really quick as well, like the organisation and how much for, because they'll just bounce off each other. The thing with Arsenal, anyone that says, well, we're sat 15th in league, why would he come to us? Because we have no one in midfield. So if he comes to us, he's playing in the best league in the world with players that are levels above his team in Salzburg. So he's with better players. He'll play week in and week out because he'll be our attacking midfielder. And then his dream move is Real Madrid. That's his dream move, and that's pretty much any player on the planet. So, but he's had a word basically with his agent and with family, and they've discussed that it's too soon for him to go to Madrid. His agent and a family member have sat with the player and gave him through a full tutorial of ex-players, not just from Salzburg, but from Germany and in England, that have gone to Real Madrid, gone to Atletico, gone to Barcelona, gone to Valencia, Villarreal, and they've not worked out, and they've basically regressed with their career. It's a bit like what with Nicolas Pepe, where we convinced him to come to us rather than Napoli. And that's what we did. Well, this is what his family member has done. I can't name the family member, but it's the family member and his agents that's told him this. And he's weighed everything up. And it was all to go to Leipzig because nobody else were coming in the running. But everyone says Arsenal have not got an offer on the table. There's an offer from Arsenal on the table. It's been there since this summer gone. Because of Salzburg, they were on transfer deadline day in the summer. They were in the pandemic and they were in isolation. So he couldn't go anywhere. He was stuck there. So if Arsenal couldn't get Hossein Aouar over the line in the summer, he was the next one after Hossein Aouar, but we couldn't get him. And we couldn't get Hossein Aouar because we've filled in that information anyway. So I've been told 90% that he will be an Arsenal player in January. That's what I've been told. And I've also been told as well to keep your eye out on Hossein Aouar because both players could be Arsenal players in January.
Yeah, well, the Hossein Aouar recent comments that came out that said he's not interested. I know you spoke to the guy about that as well, so where Hossein Aouar came out and said that he's not going to be moving in January. He's happy that he didn't join Arsenal. So yeah, but we will see.
Yeah, because I got quite worried about that, and I got on the phone and I got in touch with him, and he exactly said to me, "Don't worry about it." And I went, "Yeah, but he said it. He said it in the summer that he didn't want to leave Lyon, and that he ended up staying. So he's done the same thing for January. So he's not going to leave." And then he goes, "Lyon have to sell him. They've already put plans in motions. Basically, they've put the plans ahead for him to leave in January because they have to with FFP. If they keep him and he's still there at the 30th of June, they're in serious trouble, and they're in serious trouble with money. And you've got to think." And he also said to me, this person, "Think of it as the French league. It's no glitz and glamour. There's no massive sponsorships coming there for teams and for players. It's always PSG and Lyon that are getting, basically, they've got the best players and nobody gets a sniff or anything like that. So Lyon have to sell this player. Memphis is not going to leave because Barcelona can't do it, physically cannot do it. So Hossein Aouar will be that person that will help them with FFP." And then he says, "You'll probably not even offer them the same deal that you did in the summer. You could even get him for 10 million cheaper because they have to sell."
All right, so wait until January comes and we'll see what happens there. Manchester United are set to reward Portuguese midfielder Bruno Fernandes with a new contract, which will double his wages on £200,000 a week. I read something quickly which was saying basically they are worried about having the same situation that happened with Cristiano Ronaldo, where out of nowhere he got snapped up, wages couldn't offer, new contract, trying to get him on a long-term deal so they can basically tell proper clubs to go away. Steve, you had a bit of news on Chelsea.
Yeah, quick bit of news. David Alaba, Pina Zahahi, if that's how you pronounce it, come out this week and said Chelsea are in pole position for his signature, and they're going to continue these talks in January. The director of Chelsea now, this is where it goes on a bit further, Marinia Graverskaya, will be in Zaha's words, he will be putting a very, very interesting offer in January. These are all quotes. These ain't guesses. These are quotes by players, by managers, by agents. So everything I just said there, you can take as gospel. Chelsea also in talks with a 25-year-old centre-back from Milan called Alessio Romagnoli. That's from Carlo. Oh, my friend Carlo. He might be on the show very soon. Italian postcard, very good to go and watch it. And also something that Chelsea, I don't get this one. I don't get this, but again, another one in January. Billy Gilmore could be possibly going to Juventus.
What?
Even though he's on a this is from my friend Carlo. Well, not friend, work friend, and he will be leaving in. He's still under contract though, big contract to 223. But this, Billy Gilmore.
Billy Gilmore's a midfielder, isn't he?
Yeah. I think
so. If Juventus are interested in Billy Gilmore, then they need to get rid of midfielders to bring someone in.
They do, yeah.
So why would you bring Billy Gilmore in if they were they were apparently going to sign Hossein Alwar in January?
But where he's on a quite big contract and they will get a few quid for him, obviously it will help towards the David Alaba one as well, won't it? And also David Alaba, if needed, he can slip into the midfield. But I don't.
Would he go to Juventus though, him?
But I don't think with the midfield that Chelsea's got that he needs to do that. He can just stick with what he knows. But yeah,
Would Billy Gilmore go Juventus?
No, I mean David Alaba. That's a step down. That.
No. He said he doesn't.
No, Billy Gilmore Juventus, not David Alaba.
Yeah,
that'd be a good move for Billy Gilmore.
Yeah, but it with the large contract and the fact that it's very difficult for Billy at the moment to get game time.
Yeah,
there is a little bit of, sometimes you hear these things and sometimes if you've done this long enough you can work it out. You can work it out in your own brains. That makes a lot of sense.
Sounds like an Aaron Ramsey thing to me. That.
Yeah, it very could.
They pull them out of nowhere, didn't they? Like it was like
you look
fantastic
when they brought in Weston McKennie.
They're fantastic.
That was out of nowhere, and then and even like when they got in Emre Can, and they always get the freebies, the Emre Chans, the Sami Khediras, the Ramses. They love a freebie, and they love just an out of nowhere kind of signing. So
yeah, they never seem to be in debt, do they, Juventus? They always seem to be able to buy players.
Yeah,
I think Juventus could thrive off someone like Mesut Ozil, mate. Free agents.
There was links. There was links to Juventus,
Turin,
actually.
Ozil, worldwide brand. You've got Ronaldo there as well.
I can't get off the quotes that came from his agents, which said he's going to be joining Fenerbahce at the end of his contract.
Yeah, he's going to Turkey,
of his contract. Like he said it clear as day at the end of the contract in big capital.
I'm going to
at the end of our Arsenal contract, I'm going to Fenerbahce. So he's basically saying, stop talking about going now. Stop talking about going in January. Stop talking about going last summer. I'll go at the end of the contract. I'm going to be going to Fenerbahce. That's what he said. So I fully accept that. And we've seen,
taking my loyalty bonus and I'm off to Turkey.
Yeah, we've seen Ozil in the Fenerbahce socks as well. So
yeah. Final thing, just Chelsea, very quick. Rudiger links with West Ham and Spurs.
Yeah, did you have, while you're here, Zach Swanson sign a new contract?
Yeah, Zach Swanson's sitting down to sign a new contract, and well done Arsenal for doing that, because I've liked this player for a long while. He hasn't had a look in, but they've obviously seen something in him to get to get him on the contract. So, yeah. It's pretty simple. That, and the last one I've got is Manchester United. Yeah, they're going to be giving up on Jadon Sancho. They decided that they've not. They're not going to pursue it no more, and they're going to be looking at 22-year-old Harvey Barnes.
I did see. I saw that in the paper the other day. And do you know it? When you look at the players that they've brought in, you can't warrant like Jadon Sancho's what, 21?
I don't know.
Diallo, or Traore, he's 18, and to have a player who's like meant to be one of the next big things, and you've got Jadon Sancho, who is the next big thing, it would seem a bit like, it's not going to stunt one of their developments in the long run.
What about Harvey Barnes though?
He's a player that can play in many positions, anywhere across the top. He's got that work rate. He's got that. I don't know. He's got that sort of honest, hard working kind of vibe about him. I think he's a good player. I think there's a lot of hype around him. I don't know why. So it maybe because some of these things, it's because these players ripped it at youth level, and then now that they're men's level, they're looking good. So they're seeing that if he's now looking good and he's only been here like a season and a bit, surely we're going to see the Harvey Barnes that we saw in youth level. And I'm just saying that because I've seen players in youth level absolutely devastate it, and then when they get to senior football, it's like it's a completely different player. So if he's now replicating that from youth level, maybe that's the reason why people are getting excited about him. But he's been in the England squad. He's a regular at Leicester. A lot of clubs rate him. So
I think it's a good move for him. I think he's like Premiership ready, obviously, and I think obviously it's going to be a lot less. I would assume it'd be a lot less. I haven't got the price for it yet.
It's Leicester though, isn't it? They set their own.
They do like a price, don't they? They do like it.
Reports that Jesse Lingard could potentially be leaving Manchester United in January as he looks for more regular first-team football. And Leicester City have been linked with Sporting Lisbon winner Gonzalo Platu. Jerome, you had a look at him.
Yeah, he's Ecuadorian winger. He only turned 20 last month. He mainly plays from the right, left-footed, but he's comfortable, like drifting all over the pitch. To be honest, he's found it quite tricky to break into the Sporting Lisbon team. He signed for them in 2019, but he hasn't really made a lot of appearances for them. The type of play is very lively, blistering pace. He's one of those players that you can pick the ball up on the halfway line, and then like 2 seconds later, he's at the opposition sort of outside the box and in a like dangerous position. I think he's played for the senior team of Ecuador. He's like broken into their team, and I think he's one of those that he's sort of playing better for the national team than for the club team.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very lively. Lots of attempted sort of take-ons, wins lots of free kicks, and helps the team like transition quickly from defence to attack. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Jerome. Do you know what I was thinking the other day? One of your player profiles that you did, and it was on, is it Rafinha from Leeds?
Yeah.
Spot on.
Oh, yeah.
Shoots too much sometimes, holds on to the ball a bit too much, but he can create something out of nothing. He's a live wire and he's dangerous. And he was very much that against Arsenal. He's started to click a bit now. So I think, in the next couple of months or by the end of the season, I think that Rafinha could be if he clicks right, which it looks like he's getting there, it could be a serious play for Leeds.
Yeah. I think I might have said
one thing I will say as well. Oh, sorry, that me and Jerome were spot on as well with Vinicius at Tottenham.
Yeah. He's a very good player. You was going to say, Jerome?
I was going to say with Rafinha, I think I might have said similar to like Angel Di Maria, the way he plays.
Yes.
A little bit like him.
Yeah. Very technically gifted. Very good. Yeah. Good spot there, Jerome. Good spot. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I mean, even though Arsenal lost today, I enjoyed the podcast a lot more than the game. I'll tell you that. I was able to get a lot off my chest. Loads of comments tonight.
I bet there is.
Yeah. Henry Love too. You're not sentimentic. FC. Glenn Cook. Nice to see you there. Hack God 321. Don't think I've seen you there. Nice to meet you, Hack God. I've got to give a little shout out. Go on, Melvin.
All right, Melvin.
Peter G, part of the team. How you doing, Peter?
Nathan, somewhat.
Edu Fraud Watch. Wow. Here we go. Is there going to be a transfer roundup? There's always a transfer roundup, mate. We've got a couple of watchers on what's it called? Periscope. Watching through Twitter tonight. Watching through Twitter. 100% agree. Simon is 100% right. Is that you, Simon, that's typing that? I looked at a picture of you, mate. You should change your profile picture, mate.
Which bit is he saying I'm 100% right?
I don't know. We're not going to go there. We're going to leave it as that, mate. Crazy.
I'll just take the 100% right,
Oliver M532210003. Thanks for joining us. Mr. Bungle. Thanks for joining us.
Zippy there.
OMO E4. David Oltunji. I think I got that right. Simon loving Kroenke. Simon is a Kroenke lover.
No, I'm not. Don't start that.
Do you know what? He loves him. He sends him letters.
He's just not the biggest issue with Arsenal. I'm not brainwashed.
See his tree there, that lovely tree. He's got a big present under there to Stan.
I know, you've embarrassed me, you three. I've actually gone all out to have Christmas filters on mine.
Look, do you know what? I think David Oltunji is the same guy as Jess One. Because Jess One said that I'm a Kroenke lover as well. I don't think you listened to what I was saying.
Don't
think you listened to what I was saying. Daniel Plays, thank you very much for joining us. Nesto, thank you very much for joining. Archie, boom, no ambition FC says about Arsenal. Martin Narskad, thank you very much for joining. Fazil, hope I pronounced that right. Thank you
I know Fazil, yeah. Right, Fazil, I know you well.
All right, thank you very much, people. Daniel Plays is saying Arteta in. There we go. That's the last little boom. He gives a little
hello, Daniel.
Little dab as well. All right. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us, Si. Thank you very much. Well done for keeping your head. I know it wasn't probably easy.
You've done well tonight, actually.
No, the game didn't make me angry at all because I expected it.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us, Jerome.
Cheers. Thanks, boys. Thanks, everyone.
Make sure you catch Jerome's new show, Football Next Generation. It's part 2 of Arsenal last week. It's a very good one. Someone actually turned around who watched the first one and said, you missed out Charlie, what's his name?
Patino.
Charlie Patino. I was like, mate, go and check.
That's an old friend of mine who did that.
Go and check part 2, mate. Go and check part 2. We ain't forgotten no one. But I said, if we did forget anyone in part 2, let us know and we'll have a part 3 out for you. I've not decided who we're going to do next week. But yeah, I'll pick one of the teams and we'll go through. And yeah, if it gets to the point where we're struggling with players from one team, we'll just throw a bunch of players from different teams in one video and tell you about them as well. And obviously, if you've got some players that you want us to talk about, shed some light on them. Let us know, and we'll do a video on them as well. All right, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Steve.
Yep, thanks, Kieran. Thanks everybody for joining us. Cheers, mate.
And obviously, thanks very much for joining us as well tonight. Nathan is our regular Manchester United correspondent, we can say. We're going to be doing Premiership Team of the Year so far on the 20th of December. We'll be picking our 11 to make for the main 11. And we'd like some input from the viewers. So if you think a player should be in there, if you don't rate the player that we're putting in there, have your argument. If you outvote us in the comment section, we'll put that player in. How about that one? And obviously, thank you from me. Good night. There you go, Melvin. There you go, mate. Little shout out.
Good night, Melvin.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Peace out. Hopefully, it won't be too long until I have to stop doing this. Stay safe and wash your hands.